Chapter 964. The silver Rolls-Royce Phantom stopped beside Charlotte. Shintu Tianyin rolled down the window. I was on my way to your office. Why are you on the way? I'm here to check on the progress of the church. Charlotte glanced at the back seat of the Rolls-Royce Phantom and saw that Shintu Tianyin was alone. Why did you come out alone? It's not safe. Are you worried that I'll be kidnapped? Shintu Tianyin's lips curled up beautifully. Charlotte said, You're the richest woman in China. There should be quite a few bad people who have their eyes on you. It's best to be careful. Shintu Tianyin said, If I were kidnapped, would you come and save me? Charlotte smiled bitterly. You know I would, but I don't want something like that to happen. Bring 2 bodyguards with you next time. All right, I'll listen to you, said Shintu Tianyin. Charlotte asked, What's the matter? Let's talk in the car, said Shintu Tianyin. Charlotte subconsciously glanced at the headquarters of Rema Group. A hint of bitterness flashed through Shintu Tianyin's eyes. Are you afraid that Liang Xiao will see us? Charlotte smiled awkwardly. Why would I? He walked around the front of the car and got into the front passenger seat. Shintu Tianyin said, You can't lie to me. You're just afraid that Liang Xiao will see us. So what if she sees us? We're just chatting, not sleeping with each other. Besides, it's not like we haven't slept together before. Charlotte was speechless. It was truly rare for Shintu Tianyin to say something like that. Other men would never hear it in their entire lives. Shintu Tianyin turned the car around and drove towards Whitestag. That was also the direction to the capital. Where are you taking me? Charlotte asked. Shintu Tianyin said, I'm going to the United States. Before I leave, I want to have a meal with you. Would you do me the honor? He was already in her car. How could she not give him face? Charlotte said, Of course, but I still want to persuade you. What? Shintu Tianyin glanced at Charlotte. Don't go to America, Charlotte said. Shintu Tianyin said, The listing of the Wanxiang Group in the U.S. is a big deal. This is the first step for Wanxiang Group to enter the European and American market. As the chairman, I can't miss the bell-ringing ceremony. Charlotte was silent for a moment before saying, You should be very clear about the relationship between me and the United States. They see me as an enemy, and you are my. Shintu Tianyin stopped the car and looked straight at Charlotte. Tell me, what am I to you? Charlotte smiled bitterly. You're my ex-wife. If you go to America, they might make a move on you and use you to threaten me. So, it's not safe for you to go to America. Ex-wife. Are there still people who use ex-wives to threaten their ex-husbands? Shintu Tianyin's voice was low and filled with sadness and bitterness. Tianyin, don't misunderstand. I'm not afraid of being threatened. It's just that it's really dangerous for you to go to America. Have you forgotten how the CIA kidnapped you? They'll do anything to achieve their goals. Of course I remember. I'll never forget it. At that time, I was actually not afraid at all, because the man who came to save me was an unparalleled hero. Shintu Tianyin's gaze once again fell on Xiaolei. Promise me that you won't go to America. Why should I promise you? I'm just an ex-wife, Shintu Tianyin said. Charlotte, although she was no longer his wife, if something really happened to her, he would definitely go and help. If she was kidnapped by the CIB, he would definitely try his best to save her. But the best way to deal with it was not to go to America and stay away from trouble and danger. But why didn't she listen to his advice? She had to make a simple problem complicated. The Rolls-Royce Phantom was inexplicably quiet. The man and woman in the car didn't know what to say. In the end, it was Charlotte who broke the silence and awkwardness. Aren't we going to eat? We can't eat like this. Shintu Tianyin smiled lightly, then started the car and drove forward. Well, I'll take that as a promise, okay? Charlotte said. Shintu Tianyin raised the corner of his mouth and looked like a disobedient little girl. I can promise you, but you have to convince me. Okay, I'll tell you my opinion. Charlotte said, although the United States is known as the most prosperous, fairest and freest market in the world, that's only for Americans. It's only for European capital. China's capital, including private capital, is actually excluded from fairness and freedom. If the Wanxiang Group wants to enter the American market, you first have to face the rejection of the local capital and the trade barriers erected by the United States. They can find any reason to investigate you and issue a sky-high fine to the Wanxiang Group. They can even frame you for stealing sensitive technology or equipment and throw you in jail. Is it that exaggerated? Shintu Tianyin didn't believe it. Charlotte said, I may be exaggerating a bit, but you have to admit that what I said is the truth. Racism has always existed in Europe and the United States. They look down on black people, Middle Eastern people, and Chinese. That's the case for people, not to mention capital related to direct interest. Don't you have so much capital to invest in the United States and Europe? I know it's hard to convince you in a short time. Just think about it. Charlotte said. I'll think about it, but what? It's not enough to convince me. You have to give me some benefits. What benefits do you want? Charlotte had a headache. I'll tell you when I think about it, Shintu Tianyin said. What benefits does she want? Charlotte couldn't guess, and he didn't want to guess. Half an hour later, the Rolls-Royce Phantom arrived in the downtown area of the capital. Shintu Tianyin had already booked a restaurant. It was a famous Western restaurant in the capital, but it only served 2 customers today. One was Shintu Tianyin, and the other was Charlotte. During the meal, Shintu Tianyin didn't mention what benefits she wanted. Her eyes were fixed on Charlotte, almost never moving away. In front of the Queen was a plate of tomahawk steak and a glass of 1982 Lafite, but the Queen's attention wasn't on the beef or the wine, but on the man in front of her. Promise me, don't go to the United States. Charlotte didn't give up. Then give me some benefits. Shintu Tianyin took a sip of red wine. She looked very elegant when she drank. Charlotte smiled bitterly. Okay, tell me, what do you want? I want. She already had the answer in her heart, but it was difficult to say it out loud. But at this moment, a woman walked into the restaurant. She took a look and strode over to the table where Charlotte and Shintu Tianyin were eating. The waiter of the restaurant wanted to stop her, but she didn't even pay attention to him. Hearing the waiter's voice, Charlotte and Shintu Tianyin looked over at almost the same time, and both of them were slightly stunned. It wasn't Liang Xiao who came to catch the adulterer, but Tang Yuyan. Before Tang Yuyan got close, Shintu Tianyin frowned. What is she doing here? It wasn't easy for her to have a meal with her ex-husband. Instead of Liang Xiao, Tang Yuyan came. Her mood suddenly became bad. You two are in a good mood, booking the restaurant to enjoy the world of the two of you, Tang Yuyan said with a smile. Charlotte said to the waiter, It's okay, you go do your thing. We know each other. The waiter nodded. Wait, give me a steak with some truffles and some foie gras. I want it French, Tang Yuyan said. Okay, miss, please wait a moment. The waiter left. Shintu Tianyin said lightly, You are really picky. Truffles and foie gras are not cheap. Tang Yuyan looked at Charlotte and said, You will pay for me, right? You can eat whatever you want. Charlotte said, Tell me, why are you looking for me? Tang Yuyan looked at Shintu Tianyin and didn't say anything. Shintu Tianyin said unhappily, Tang Yuyan, I invited my ex-husband to dinner, and I booked the restaurant. Are you trying to drive me away? Tang Yuyan said, Shintu Tianyin, I think you should blame Liang Xiao and Fanfan. Well, Long Bing and Jiang Rui, not me. They are going to be mothers soon. Your ex-husband is going to be the father of 4 children. I have nothing to do with your ex-husband. Why are you yelling at me? Shintu Tianyin was stunned on the spot, and her eyes suddenly became misty. She was not as well informed as the director of 101 Innings. If Tang Yuyan didn't say it, she wouldn't know that Charlotte had made Liang Xiao, Fanfan, Long Bing and Jiang Rui pregnant with his children. Is this true? Shintu Tianyin's voice trembled. Charlotte nodded and admitted it. There was nothing to hide, and there was no need to. Liang Xiao, Fan Fan, Jiang Rui and Long Bing were his women, and they were all pregnant with his children. He couldn't give each of them the certificate of his wife, but in his heart they were all his wives. There was no difference. He dared to admit it on any occasion and in front of anyone. Let's talk another day. I'm full. Shintu Tianyin got up and left. Charlotte didn't say anything. He just watched her leave, and then he looked at Tang Yuyan. Is this why you came here? Tang Yuyan said, I'm not that bored. I came to talk to you about the spy. You already know? It's strange that I, the director of 101 innings, found out after you. Do you want to keep me in the dark all the time? Tang Yuyan said. Although she didn't say the source of the information, Charlotte knew that it must be Long Bing who submitted the information to 101 innings. After all, she was still a person from 101 innings. The appearance of a spy in Rema Group was related to the national interest, so she couldn't hide it. She wouldn't hide it either. Tell me, what are you going to do? Tang Yuyan asked. Charlotte said, I'm thinking of a way. I'll tell you when I think of something. Tang Yuyan curled up the corner of her mouth. You must have started to take action, but you just don't want to tell me, right? I'm telling the truth. It's up to you whether you believe it or not. I just don't believe it. Then there's nothing I can do, Charlotte said. In addition, since you already know about the spy, you must also know that Long Bing is in danger in Japan, right? What are you going to do? I can't send more agents to Japan because this operation can't be seen in the light. If the Japanese get hold of it, we'll be in a passive position in diplomacy. Whether to send people or not, I can't make the decision. Tang Yuyan said. Charlotte sighed in his heart. He felt that the Tang Yuyan in front of him was becoming more and more unfamiliar. Long Bing is the most powerful agent in 101 innings. She will take care of herself. What we have to solve now is the problem of the spy in Rema Group. I'm personally responsible for this matter. Before coming, I've checked the information of all the people in Rema Group, and there's no one worthy of suspicion. This is an expert, but I must find him within a week. Tang Yuyan said. That's your business. You deal with it yourself. Also, I remind you not to rashly enter Rema Group to carry out an investigation. That will alert the enemy. Charlotte said and then got up. You eat slowly. I'm also full. Goodbye. You. Tang Yuyan suddenly became angry on the spot. Charlotte turned and left without looking back. Chapter 965. When he walked out of the restaurant, Charlotte didn't see Shintu Tianyin's Rolls-Royce Phantom. He called her, but she didn't pick up. He was a little worried that she would let her emotions get the best of her and not listen to his advice to go to America. However, Shintu Tianyin didn't even pick up his phone, so there was no point in worrying. He was a little depressed. Who had he offended by living with his woman and having children? Be it Shintu Tianyin or Tang Yuyan, they all treated him as if he had committed a grave sin. Sometimes it was hard to love someone, and it was also hard not to love someone. When he returned to Ping An residence, Charlotte saw Fan Fan and Liang Xiao talking at the door of his study. Seeing him come back, the two women with big bellies shut their mouths and stared at him. Their eyes were like the eyes of a Scottish fold cat. Charlotte smiled bitterly. I'll be honest. I went to have a meal with Shintu Tianyin. The Wanxiang Corporation is going to be listed in America, and she wants to go there, but I told her not to. Later, Tang Yuyan also came to talk about that matter. We chatted for a while, but it wasn't very pleasant, so I came back. A married couple's relationship needed two people to protect it. However, in Charlotte's case, a married couple's relationship needed several people to protect it. As a man, he had to be more proactive. Sure enough, with his confession, the two pregnant women, Liang Xiao and Fan Fan, couldn't bear to punish him harshly. Liang Xiao rolled her eyes at Charlotte. We didn't ask you who you went to have a meal with. You and Shintu Tianyin are husband and wife, so it's only right that you care about her. You're our man. Don't we know what kind of person you are? You're a loyal person, so it's normal for you to remember old times. Charlotte smiled. Xiao, you're so nice. She was becoming more and more magnanimous, which was really a good thing. What about me? Fan Fan said. Charlotte walked over and put his arms around the shoulders of the two women with big bellies. Good. You are good too. Our Xia family's women are good too. Only then did the two pregnant women smile. Charlotte said, By the way, I haven't eaten at all. I'm still hungry. Is there anything to eat? I'll make a bowl of noodles for you. You can talk to Sister Fan Fan. She's also here to talk to you about the spy. Liang Xiao said and then went to the kitchen. There was actually a chef in Ping in residence, but Liang Xiao preferred to cook for Charlotte personally. Fan Fan took Charlotte's arm and walked into the living room. Then, she sat on his lap. Charlotte enjoyed the gentle squeeze of her plump and soft white jade balls as he joked, Honey, is this how you talk business with me? Fan Fan's arrival was definitely an order from the higher-ups. There was no need to guess at all. Fan Fan said, Isn't it good for me to talk business with you like this? I'm talking to you like this, and I'm also checking if you're eating. Saying such seductive words, her white jade dumpling squeezed into Xia Lei's arms twice. Then, she smiled and said, A dog can still express goodwill to its female owner and beg for food. This situation is normal. Consider it that you didn't steal the food. Charlotte, then I'll get down to business. After teasing Charlotte, Fan Fan said seriously, The higher-ups got the report of 101 innings and specially asked me to come over to ask about the situation. What do they want to know? A lot. They want to know everything. Who do you suspect, which country is the spy from, etc. If you know, tell me, Fan Fan said. Charlotte said, There's no suspect yet. Tang Yuyan said that she has checked everyone's information, but unfortunately, she didn't find anyone suspicious. Fan Fan frowned. Even Tang Yuyan couldn't find out. This person is very powerful. Charlotte said, Yes, he should have been lurking around me for a long time, but I didn't notice it. This time, I really met a master. Tell the truth to the higher-ups, but tell them not to worry. I can solve this problem. Fan Fan nodded. You have to be careful. Be careful, or he will, Charlotte interrupted her. I want him to make a move. Once he makes a move, he will be exposed. I'm most worried about you and Xiao. Be careful during this time. It's best to bring a bodyguard when you go out. If it's not convenient for you to have a bodyguard, I'll ask the 4 knights to protect you. I don't want it. I just need a call from the bodyguard. You don't have to worry about me. Take care of Xiao. She's also in the company. The spy may be around her, said Fan Fan. At this time, Fan Fan came in and said with a smile, Honey, do you want noodles or Sister Fan Fan? Noodles, said Charlotte. He was hinting that Fan Fan should get off him. However, Fan Fan reached out and took the noodles that Liang Xiao had put on the tea table. She said with a smile, You're so good today. I'll feed you. Charlotte, Liang Xiao said, Don't spoil him. What will you do if he needs to be fed by you in the future? Fan Fan said with a smile, I'm not spoiling him. I'll let him feed us next time. Well, that's no problem. Liang Xiao laughed. What kind of standard was that? Charlotte felt that the noodles were very hot, and so were Fan Fan's white jade dumplings. After sending off Fan Fan, Charlotte and Liang Xiao went to the company. When he arrived at the office, Charlotte hesitated for a moment, but he still used the satellite phone to call Long Bing's number. Tokyo, Japan. I'm fine. Don't worry. That was Long Bing's first sentence. It's good that you're fine. Where are you now? Hearing her voice, Charlotte relaxed a little. I'm in Tokyo, in a safe house in the countryside. Long Bing opened the Japanese-style window in front of her. In her sight was a kendo dojo. Several tattooed Yakuza members were fighting with wooden sword. Don't lie to me. I heard the sound of fighting. Charlotte's voice came. Is it a samurai dojo? Long Bing sighed. It's a kendo dojo. It belongs to a small Yakuza organization. Akiko once saved their leader. They promised us to stay here for a few days. You really don't have to worry about anything. Akiko is a local here. She can handle it. Charlotte said, every member of the Zodiac team is a local. I know this better than you. But you have to know that you are facing the Japanese Intelligence Department, Special Forces, and people from the CIA. You have been exposed. Come back. Don't take any more risk. My people were caught by the Secret Service. I can't leave them behind. This mission is very important to the country. I must complete it. Don't try to persuade me anymore. I promise you that this is my last mission in 101 innings. I don't want my last mission to end in failure, Long Bing said. Bing, listen to me. That's it. I'm hanging up. Don't call again. This will increase the risk of exposure. Long Bing hung up the phone without hesitation. In the kendo dojo, several Yakuza members had finished their combat training. One of the Yakuza members glanced in the direction of Long Bing's room and said in Japanese, "That woman is a stowaway from China. The president allowed her to stay here for a few days. I've seen her. She's hot." Another said, "She came to Japan illegally. She's probably here to sell her?" "Ha ha ha. I bet so. How about we take care of her business first?" Another Yakuza member looked in the direction of Long Bing and smirked. Several Yakuza members quickly reached a consensus and walked together to Long Bing's room. Long Bing closed the Japanese-style window with a slit. She frowned. What are those guys trying to do? Her Japanese ability was so poor that she couldn't communicate. The Japanese interpreter for this operation was arrested. She didn't know how Akiko Tsukino explained to the leader of the small Yakuza. Because of the spies leak, she had fallen into a very passive situation. Just now, when Charlotte asked her to go back, she wanted to agree for a moment, but her strong character made her erase the idea of going back. Since she was on the battlefield, she would never be a deserter. Just as Long Bing was thinking about the problem, the Japanese-style wooden door was pushed open. Several shirtless Yakuza members in shorts rushed into her room. Long Bing subconsciously took a step back and said in stiff Japanese, "You?" She originally wanted to say, "What do you want?" but she didn't know how to say the rest of the words. "China woman, play with me." A Yakuza member smiled wretchedly. A Yakuza member twisted his buttocks and said with a smile, "Let's do it together. You'll feel good." Although she did not understand what the other party was saying, Long Bing understood from the other party's expression and body language. Her eyes immediately turned cold. "I'll help you take off your clothes." A Yakuza member reached out to Long Bing's firm chest. Long Bing suddenly grabbed his wrist and pushed his chest with her other hand. When her palm stopped, the guy who reached out to her already had a saber on his chest. There wasn't even a word of nonsense. "Kill! Kill!" Several Yakuza members were stunned when one of their companions was killed in a face-to-face encounter. Long Bing pulled out the saber, stepped forward, and stabbed a Yakuza member's chest several times. The rest of the Yakuza members came to their senses and turned to run out. A cold light flashed, and a head suddenly flew from the neck of the Yakuza member who ran in front. Before the head fell to the ground, a cold light flashed, and in the blink of an eye, several Yakuza members fell to the ground. Blood flowed from the corpses, and in the blink of an eye, the floor was dyed red. Sheathing the katana, Akiko Tsukino bowed to Long Bing and apologized. "Sorry, Mrs. Long, I came back late." Long Bing wiped the blood off the saber on a corpse. "No need to apologize. Tell me, what did you find out?" "The previous attack on us and the arrest of your men were all directed by my Hattori. She is a member of the Secret Service and has a very high status," Akiko Tsukino said. Where are my men locked up? Akiko Tsukino wanted to say something but stopped. Tell me. Akiko Tsukino shook her head. I can't decide this. I have to ask the boss. We have to get out of here. The bodies of these guys will attract the police. Okay, let's get out of here. Long Bing didn't pester her. She said as she walked, Is there any news from the FA organization? Akiko Tsukino said, Not for the time being, but I believe that the people from the FA organization must be in Tokyo. Siamu's intelligence network is very useful in Europe, the United States, and the Middle East, but not in Tokyo at all. We have to give him more time. Long Bing sighed in her heart. The idea came up again, but she was still unwilling. Was the last mission really going to end in failure? Chapter 966. Although there were many things to worry about, such as the spy and Long Bing, Charlotte still gathered his thoughts and entered the second battlefield on time at 10 o'clock in the evening. In fact, no matter how busy he was these days, he would come to his study at 10 o'clock every night, turn on his hacker computer, and enter the U.S. stock market in his best state. Previously, he created good news for himself and bought all the shares of Green Algae Company. The Centennial Fund then released bad news and even let the media expose the Green Algae Company's violation of regulations, using extreme means to suppress the stock price. This was also an opportunity for him to make money. The U.S. stock market could not only be long but also short. When the Centennial Fund suppressed the stock price again, he also joined the ranks of short, making a lot of money. After a few days, he no longer had $140 million in his 4 accounts, but $300 million. The U.S. stock market did not have a limit system, and accounts with more than $25,000 could be traded as many times as they wanted. This was also the reason why his profits had more than doubled in the past few days, because such a system gave him more opportunities to make money. Tonight, his strategy changed again. Miss Isabel, it's me, your friend. Charlotte's voice sounded very friendly over the network phone. Hello, my friend. Isabel's voice came from the speaker of the hacker computer, and she was smiling. I have received your gift. Thank you, it let me move into the house I want. Charlotte said lightly, I'm afraid $100,000 won't let you buy a good house, right? It's just a part of the house payment. That's true, my friend, but I will try my best. Charlotte smiled. Then do you want to pay for the house in one go, and then give the house a high-end renovation, and buy yourself some of the appliances you want? Isabel was silent for a moment. My friend, tell me, what do you want me to do? And how much will you give me? Charlotte said, You have shown me your ability and sincerity. This time, of course, I will not treat you badly. I'll send you an email. You can write whatever you want in the text, and you can do whatever you want with the video. But remember, it must have a great impact. That's not a problem. I have friends who work in online media and social media platforms. I'll give you the influence you want, Isabel said. All right, I will give you $1 million this time. I will pay you $500,000 in advance. Wow, my God, you are so generous. Use the deposit I paid you to buy some shares of Green Algae Company. You will soon become a millionaire. After that, Charlotte hung up the phone. A minute later, he sent out an email. It contained information about the J. Garrick project that he had stolen from the Green Algae Corporation, as well as surveillance videos that he had stolen from the 100-Year Fund's surveillance system. Once these things were exposed, the shares of the Green Algae Company would enter the next round of skyrocketing prices. But tonight, he was going to spend $300 million on the shares of Green Algae Corporation. 300 million would become 600 million, 600 million would become 2 billion. His snowball would become bigger and bigger. However, he would not repeatedly dig for gold in the stock of Green Algae Corporation. After this time, he would abandon this stock and look for other prey. Against the backdrop of the 100-year fund's malicious short-selling, retail investors and small investors who held the shares of Green Algae Corporation could not hold back and were dumping the shares of Green Algae Corporation. This was exactly what Charlotte wanted. He bought in little by little, and every time, he bought in at a low price. After spending $300 million, the stock price only rose by 2%. But his cost price was below this 2%. In other words, even if he bought in such a large amount, he actually made a profit of 2%. After spending $300 million, Charlotte used the internet phone to make another call. This call was to Hornick. When the call was connected, Hornick's voice came from the computer's speaker. "May I ask who is this?" Charlotte said in a gentle tone, "Uncle Xia, sleep. Uncle Xia sleeps naked. Uncle Xia is a bad guy." There was suddenly no sound from Hornick's side. These were the keywords that Zhu Xianyue implanted in Hornick's brain when she deeply hypnotized him. Once someone said these keywords in his ear, he would become a puppet and unconditionally execute that person's instructions. Zhu Xianyue was the person who deeply hypnotized Hornick. Her whereabouts were unknown, but Charlotte could still activate Hornick through these keywords and make Hornick obey his instructions. "Cough 3 times," Charlotte said. "Cough, cough, cough." Hornick's coughs were heard. Not one more, not one less, just 3 times. After confirming that Hornick had entered another mode, Charlotte began to issue orders. "Go to Greece for a vacation and come back in a month." "Yes." Hornick's voice. "If anyone investigates the accounts of Giovanna, Stella, Teresa, and Rosa, you have to do your best to protect them." "Yes." Hornick's voice. The vague instructions were also effective for Hornick. Charlotte's purpose of activating Hornick was precisely for this reason. The Green Algae Company's stock had continuously released amazing good and bad news, and the traces of manipulation were very obvious. This could easily attract the attention of the SEC, which would launch an investigation. He had to prepare for this situation in advance. This was also the reason why he decided to give up the Green Algae Company's stock after going long this time. Even if the Green Algae Company's stock had a lot of room for appreciation in the future, he wouldn't touch it again. Of course, this was only the initial operation method. Because it was illegal, there must be some preventive measures. When he snowballed, his funds would be spread to every corner of the U.S. stock market, and he wouldn't have to worry about the SEC investigation. The U.S. capital led by Soros attacking the Thai and Hong Kong stock markets was an example. Japan was also an example. The governments involved clearly knew what was going on, but they could only watch Soros and the U.S. capital make a lot of money. They couldn't do anything about it. Because it was legal, they were making money under the market rules, unless you closed the market. After finishing what he had to do, Charlotte left the study room. It was already 2:00 in the morning. What is that guy doing now? Is he planning his next move? Or is he spying on me? After leaving the study room, Charlotte's thoughts shifted back to the spy incident. With this thought in mind, his eyes quickly scanned the surroundings. Unfortunately, he didn't notice anyone spying on him in the dark. After taking a few steps, he suddenly changed direction and walked in another direction. Xiao told me not to leave anyone out. What she said makes sense. That spy is hiding so well, and the information he obtained is very important. He can't be a normal employee, Charlotte thought. The place he was going to was his future brother-in-law, Ryu Youngnam's room. When he reached Ryu Youngnam's room, he hesitated again. He actually knew what was going on. When he went to the U.S., Ryu Youngnam disguised himself as him, and his whereabouts weren't discovered by the CIA. Just this point alone could eliminate Ryu Youngnam as a suspect. There was another reason why he hesitated, and that was that he believed in his sister's vision. If Ryu Youngnam was a bad person, and Ryu Youngnam was with her all the time, even sharing the same bed, how could she not notice it? After standing at Ryu Youngnam's door for a while, he turned and left. It was okay to suspect him, but if he entered Ryu Youngnam's room to check on him, it would be obvious that he didn't believe him. Doing so would hurt Ryu Youngnam's heart. After all, Ryu Youngnam was Xia Shui's fiancé. He was the man who had to take care of his sister for a lifetime. As her brother, he couldn't do that. It would be too selfish to do so. That guy hid so well. He obviously lurked again during this time. This can't go on. I have to find a way to lure him out. Charlotte pondered in his heart, and he came to Liang Xiao's room unknowingly. He looked through the door and saw that Liang Xiao had fallen asleep. He gave up the idea of going in to sleep in a warm bed. He couldn't bear to wake her up. Do. Just as Charlotte turned to leave, the satellite phone rang. Charlotte then took out the satellite phone. He glanced at the screen. It was an unfamiliar number. He hesitated for a moment and answered the phone. Hello? Listen carefully. Charlotte was stunned for a moment. He was too familiar with this voice because it was his father, Xia Changhe's voice. The United States has launched a new material project, which is the same as your project. Charlotte was surprised and lost his voice. How is this possible? This project is secret. It's a copy of your project. I didn't get much information, but I believe that the Americans got the sample and formula. Where is that project? I know what you're thinking, but I won't allow you to take extreme actions. Xia Changhe said. Because it's in the eastern part of the United States, Fort Braden, North Carolina. Do you know where that place is? That's the headquarters of the Delta Special Forces. The Delta Special Forces were the most mysterious and elite special forces in the world. No other country's special forces could compare to them. Since the establishment of the Delta Special Forces, there were many classic battle examples. Operation Reconstruction of Hope, Operation Free Iraq, etc. These battle examples have become textbooks for other countries to train their special forces. For the United States to build a new material project in the headquarters of the Delta Special Forces, it was obvious how vigilant they were. Dad, you're in the United States? Charlotte asked. Temporarily. Xia Changhe's voice. Don't worry about me. I'm fine. I'm actually worried about you. There's a very powerful spy lurking around you. You have to find him. I will. When are you coming back? Xia Changhe was silent for a moment. I haven't considered this matter yet. Fan and I are going to have our wedding during the spring festival. I want you to attend. Charlotte said. I also want to, but you know, my coming back will bring a lot of trouble. We'll talk about it when the time comes. If I don't come back, don't be disappointed. Xia Changhe said. Charlotte said. I know. I can understand you. Fan will too. You seem to have 4 wives. You're only going to have your wedding with Fan. What are you going to do with the other 3? Women take their wedding very seriously. Charlotte smiled bitterly. I'll take care of it. You don't have to worry about it. Okay. That's it. Wait. Charlotte said. Tell me, what are you looking for? You'll know, but not today. Xia Changhe hung up the phone. Charlotte sighed a little gloomily. At this time, the door suddenly opened. Liang Xiao, who was only wearing pajamas, leaned against the door frame and looked at Charlotte quietly. Charlotte put away the satellite phone and walked to Liang Xiao. Why are you up? I knew when you came. Who called? Liang Xiao asked. Charlotte held her in his arms. Let's go under the covers and talk. You'll catch a cold if you wear so little. Liang Xiao poked Charlotte's waist with her finger. No matter how much I wear, you'll still pull it out, right? Charlotte, the door was closed. Chapter 967. At dawn, it suddenly snowed. The fluttering snowflakes silently covered everything. The black, gray, and ugly were all buried in the white snowflakes. The snow also delayed the arrival of dawn, and the sky still looked dark. It was really a great enjoyment to sleep in bed in such weather. Xia Shui came out of the man's room and went to the door of Liang Xiao's room without even turning around. She hadn't reached out and knocked on the door when Liang Xiao's voice came from the room. "Ah, be gentle. Don't hurt the child." "I'm already very gentle, okay? I almost didn't use any strength." This was Charlotte's voice. "Yours is so thick and mine is so tender. Even if you are gentle, I can feel it. It's so sensitive." "Then, should I stop for a while?" No, I feel it moving." "Aya, it's coming again." Outside the door, Xia Shui's face was flushed. The conversation between Liang Xiao and her brother seemed to make her think of something. She didn't feel good. She turned around and left. As she searched, she muttered, "So shameless. Doing that kind of thing early in the morning. My brother is really something. Sister-in-law Xiao's belly is already big, and he still wants to do it. What if he hurts the child?" At this time, Charlotte's voice suddenly came from behind Xia Shui. "You're already here. Why don't you come in? Come in." Xia Shui stopped and turned to look at the closed door with a shocked expression. Charlotte's voice said, "Don't think too much. I'm giving your sister-in-law a massage." Xia Shui entered Liang Xiao's room, and she found out that her brother was indeed giving Liang Xiao a massage. The part of the massage was also Liang Xiao's slightly bulging belly. No wonder Liang Xiao had such strange words just now. "Sister-in-law Xiao." Xia Shui called out very cleverly. Liang Xiao said with a smile, "Have a seat, Xiao Shui. Are you here to see me or your brother?" Xia Shui said, "I'm here to find my brother." Xia Shui glanced at Charlotte, but she didn't continue. "Why are you looking for me? Then say it." Charlotte said, "Your sister-in-law Xiao is not an outsider." Xia Shui smirked. "Well, this is what you asked me to say, so I will say it." "Say it," Charlotte urged her. "The Spring Festival is coming soon. When will you and sister-in-law Fanfan's wedding be? Where should I do it? Who do you want to invite?" Xia Shui spoke very fast, but when she spoke, the corner of her eyes had been observing Liang Xiao's reaction. It was indeed awkward to talk about Charlotte and Fanfan's wedding in front of Liang Xiao. No wonder she didn't say it just now. She had to take into account Liang Xiao's feelings. Liang Xiao seemed to understand Xia Shui's thoughts. She smiled and said, "Xiao Shui, you don't have to consider my feelings. I'm fine. On that day, I will be Fanfan's bridesmaid." "Xia Shui," Charlotte said, "Xiao Shui, you want me to let you host the wedding, right?" "Yeah, I'm here to talk to you about this," said Xia Shui. "Okay, then I will let you host it. As for the time, let's set it on the 4th day of the first lunar month." "Why is it the 4th day of the first lunar month?" "Because I want to marry 4 wives on that day," said Charlotte. Xia Shui. Although she was speechless, Xia Shui really admired her brother. He could manage such a complicated family relationship so well, and his sisters-in-law were so harmonious. Wasn't this ability worthy of admiration? For a man to be able to do what her brother did, there was no one else. However, she secretly made a decision in her heart. That was, she wouldn't let Ryu Yongnam spend too much time with her brother. She was afraid that he would learn bad things. Liang Xiao gave Charlotte a punch. "You are very proud, right? I won't marry you." Charlotte didn't hear it. He continued, "Xiao Shui, as for who to invite, you can decide. Well, you set the date. I will help you deal with other things. I estimate that your wedding will need at least 500 tables. I will make it very grand for you, so that you and your sisters-in-law will be in the limelight." Xia Shui said with a smile. "Work is work, but you have to be careful during this time," Xia Lei warned. I will." It wasn't the first time that Xia Shui had experienced something like this. "You should go. I want to talk to Xiao Shui." Liang Xiao pushed Charlotte and wanted to drive Charlotte away. Charlotte said, "I didn't go out to talk with Xiao Shui just now. Why do you want to drive me away? A man shouldn't listen to a woman's words. Hurry up and leave." Liang Xiao pushed Xia Lei out and closed the door. It was actually very simple for Charlotte to eavesdrop on the conversation between the two women. He only needed to awaken the X-ray ability of his left eye and then use the lip-reading technique to read their lip. However, he didn't do that. It was really boring to eavesdrop on the conversation between his wife and sister in the boudoir. After breakfast, Charlotte came to the company. The information that his father gave him last night was very important, but it was not comprehensive. However, he also had his own interpretation. That was, the formula and production process obtained by the new material project established in the United States were not complete. Because until now, the complete formula and production process only existed in his mind. He didn't tell anyone about it. Therefore, unless the Americans had the means to steal secrets from his dreams, they wouldn't be able to successfully imitate his secret gold X. This inference also pointed him in a direction. That was, the spy cut the sample and the initial formula from the new material laboratory that Eugene Lee was responsible for. The Americans had now mastered the carbon element arrangement of the silver metal, which was actually a huge loss for the Rema Group. When he came to the company, Charlotte went straight to the material laboratory. At the door of the laboratory, he met Qin Kaiyue, who had just come out of the material laboratory. "Chairman Xia, good morning." Qin Kaiyue smiled very sweetly, and her voice was very soft. Charlotte said faintly, "You came so early?" "I'm diligent." Qin Kaiyue smiled and handed a document to Charlotte. "This is the report that Eugene Lee asked me to come get. He said it was for you and it was very important." Charlotte took the document bag in his hand, but he didn't open it. He said, "Why didn't he bring it to me personally?" Qin Kaiyue said, "I don't know about that. He was probably busy. He said he was working on a plan to build a material workshop." "He told you these things?" Charlotte's tone was calm. Qin Kaiyue chuckled. "Chairman Xia, don't think too much. He's not my cup of tea. We just know each other. We're just ordinary friends." Charlotte said, "Go ahead. I'll go in and take a look. Oh, by the way, make me a cup of tea and put it on the desk." "Well, okay, Chairman Xia." Qin Kaiyue left. Charlotte's gaze moved to Qin Kaiyue's back. His left eye twitched slightly. In the blink of an eye, Qin Kaiyue's PL uniform disappeared from his sight. His intention was to peek at Qin Kaiyue's body to see if there was any spy equipment on her, such as a bug or a pinhole camera. The X-ray vision peeled off the clothes on Qin Kaiyue's body. Her body was tall and well-proportioned. Her small waist seemed very slender, but her buttocks seemed very plump. The top was thin and the bottom was fat. Coupled with a pair of beautiful ivory legs, her back view was very sexy and very attractive. There was no spy equipment hidden on her body. However, just as Charlotte was about to end his X-ray vision on her, his gaze suddenly shifted to a place a little below her white jade ball. He saw a wet mark. "What's going on so early in the morning?" Charlotte's heart skipped a beat. He suddenly took out a pen from his pocket and threw it forward. The pen was immediately thrown onto the grass beside Qin Kaiyue. Qin Kaiyue didn't notice what Chairman Xia, who was behind her, had done, but she heard Charlotte's voice. "Kaiyue, I dropped my pen. Help me pick it up." Charlotte didn't wait for Qin Kaiyue to turn around and said, "It's in the grass on your left." Qin Kaiyue shifted her gaze to take a look, then bent down to pick up Charlotte's pen on the grass. Just as she bent down, Charlotte's gaze shifted to her perky buttocks again. Qin Kaiyue's actions had stimulated him quite a bit, but it also confirmed one thing. His female secretary had just done that kind of thing with someone. Qin Kaiyue walked over slowly and handed the pen to Charlotte. "Chairman Xia, your pen." "Thank you," Charlotte said with a smile. "Chairman Xia, is there anything else?" Qin Kaiyue asked. "No, go do what you need," Charlotte said. "Okay." Qin Kaiyue responded, then turned around and left. She was especially well-behaved today and didn't harass her Chairman Xia. If it wasn't for his X-ray vision just now, Charlotte might have missed this detail. It's so early. Who did she have sex with? Charlotte couldn't help but think about this question, but he quickly gave up. She's an adult and has needs. She tried to seduce me so many times but failed. She can't just hang herself on me, right? After Xiao comes back, she won't have a chance at all. It's normal for her to have a boyfriend. Well, who's her boyfriend? The previous question was very boring, and this question was also very boring. Charlotte entered the material laboratory and came to the door of Eugene Lee's office. He once again awakened the X-ray vision of his left eye and looked at the situation in the office. Eugene Lee was typing on the keyboard. It was a proposal for the new material workshop that Rema Group was preparing to build. He looked very focused and didn't notice who was outside the door. Charlotte used his X-ray vision again, but he didn't find anything suspicious. Then, he ended his X-ray vision, opened the door, and walked in. Eugene Lee looked up and hurriedly stood up. Chairman Xia, you're here. Look at the mess here. Please sit down. I'll make you a cup of tea. Charlotte said, No, I just came to see how your plan is going. I've just started. It's just the beginning. Eugene Lee looked very embarrassed. I worked overtime last night and finished the report of the last experiment this morning. He glanced at Charlotte's hand and said, Isn't that the report I wrote? Has Secretary Qing handed it to you? Yes, I met Secretary Qing outside, Charlotte said. I haven't had time to look at it yet, but I'll look at it when I get to the office. Eugene Lee rubbed his hands. Chairman Xia, I should have sent it to you personally, but, Charlotte interrupted him. It's okay. You're so busy. It's okay to ask Secretary Qing to send it over. That's it. You're busy now. Come to the multi-purpose conference room for a meeting tomorrow. Well, I'll be there on time, Eugene Lee said. Charlotte patted Eugene Lee's shoulder. Do a good job. I won't treat you badly. If you do this well, you and I will go down in history. Li Yudun nodded heavily. I won't let you down, Chairman Xia. Charlotte smiled and then left Eugene Lee's office. He opened his palm, and there was a curly hair lying in his palm. An image suddenly appeared in his mind. Those two guys really knew how to play. Chapter 968. Tokyo, Japan. Two women walked under the open-air TV in Ginza Square. One was petite and the other was tall. When they passed by the open-air TV, the two women's eyes moved to the open-air TV at the same time. There was a news program on the TV that day. On the huge screen was a kendo dojo and the ground was littered with corpses. Although the picture was mosaic, it still looked very bloody. The news host said that it was a Yakuza killing, but no one thought that the murderer who caused the murder was standing in Ginza Square watching the news program. The two women were Akiko Tsukino and Long Bing. The two women wore human skin masks on their faces, and they looked very ugly. Yakuza killing? Akiko Tsukino sneered. I don't know if they will suspect the Yamaguchi Gumi. Let's go, Sayama will be here soon, Long Bing said. Akiko Tsukino nodded, and then walked to the road next to the square. This was the place where she and Sayamu agreed to meet. At this time, a woman's photo suddenly appeared on the open-air TV. The woman in the photo was none other than Long Bing. Now we have an urgent news. A female news host in formal attire appeared on the TV screen. Her expression was very serious. According to the information provided by the police, this woman is a spy from China. She stole the artificial intelligence technology of a technology company and is currently on the run. If there are citizens who found this woman, please provide clues to the police. Wanted on TV and even framed. Long Bing suddenly frowned, and her eyes were terrifyingly cold. Akiko Tsukino took her hand. Stop watching, let's go. Is the Japanese media like this? Long Bing said coldly. Akiko Tsukino smiled. The artificial intelligence technology of that technology company has long been in the hands of your man. The Hattori family framed this matter on you, so it's not wrong. Isn't there a saying in China that a wife pays her husband's debts? That's a son paying his father's debts, Long Bing said. It doesn't matter if it's the wife paying back the husband's debt or the son paying back the father's debt, it's just a different way of saying it, Akiko Tsukino said. Actually, what I want to say is that you should really consider going back to China. Your appearance has already spread throughout Japan. Although you have a mask, experienced people will still be able to see through your disguise. It's already very unsafe for you to stay in Japan. How about it? Think about it. Why do you always persuade me to go back? Long Bing's voice was very cold. Is it because you are Japanese? Akiko Tsukino shrugged. I know you're unhappy and anxious, but I want to tell you that although I am Japanese, I am definitely not a nationalist. My life was given to me by my father, and everything I have now was given to me by your man, so I will always be on your side. Your man asked me to protect you, and that's why I'm here. As for your mission, I don't care at all. The first thing I have to consider is your safety. Do you understand what I'm saying? Long Bing was silent for a moment. Let's go. I'll consider whether or not to return to China, but I still need some time. Akiko Tsukino nodded. In fact, she was not angry with Long Bing. She knew the women around Charlotte very well, and the one she liked the most was Long Bing. When the two women came to the side of the road, a motorcycle slowly drove over. The rider of the motorcycle was a man who looked very strong, but his face couldn't be seen because he was wearing a helmet. But from his body characteristics, the two women quickly recognized that he was Sayamu. Get on. Sayamu's voice came from inside the helmet. He didn't take off his helmet. Long Bing didn't move. In this world, except for Charlotte, she didn't want to have even the slightest intimate physical contact with anyone. Akiko Tsukino seemed to understand Long Bing's thoughts. She climbed onto the motorcycle and said to Long Bing, "You sit behind me." Only then did Long Bing get on the motorcycle. She was actually very grateful to Akiko Tsukino, but she didn't say it out loud. Sayamu turned around and said with a smile, "Akiko, hold my waist." Akiko Tsukino said lightly, "I have a shuriken on my belt. You'd better sit a little forward, or I can't guarantee that it won't stab into your butt." Sayamu. He liked Akiko Tsukino, but Akiko Tsukino didn't have any feelings for him at all. She was always thousands of miles away from him. Sayamu moved a little forward, and his butt was almost on the fuel tank. He knew Akiko Tsukino. She was a woman who could do what she said. He didn't want to have a hole in his butt. After the two women sat down, he started the motorcycle and drove along the road. An hour later, the three people left Tokyo and came to a village at the foot of Mount Fuji. The village was not far from Unanyakai, only a 10-minute drive. That place was unforgettable for Long Bing, because it was in that village that she and Charlotte had a romantic and exciting memory. It was also in that village that she became Charlotte's woman. Under the leadership of Akiko Tsukino, Long Bing and Sayamu entered a very old building. It was a kendo dojo with more than 200 years of history. It was the new safety point that Akiko Tsukino prepared for Long Bing. In the snow-covered courtyard, a thin Japanese old man was practicing kendo. His movements were slow, but it gave people a sense of sharpness. Although Long Bing didn't know much about kendo in Japan, she saw the demeanor of a master from the old man. The old man gave her the impression that Charlotte was similar to Liang Zhengchun, Charlotte's master, and Tang Yunhai, Tang Yuyen's grandfather. "He is my master, Kenichi Yagyu," Akiko Tsukino said. "He owes my father his life, and I am the person who repaid my father's favor. He taught me ninjutsu and also taught me to kill. He is very powerful." Charlotte's father is really... Long Bing had a very strange feeling in her heart, but she couldn't say it. "What do you want to say?" Akiko Tsukino looked at Long Bing and seemed to be guessing what she was thinking. Long Bing shook her head and said, Nothing. She changed the topic and asked, Is your master okay? There is no problem. You can rest assured about that. You need to make a decision as soon as possible. This place is not as safe as you think. The longer we stay here, the closer the danger is to us, Akiko Tsukino said. Long Bing said, I will think about it. You don't have to ding-ling-ling, ding-ling-ling. A series of ringtones suddenly interrupted Long Bing's words. It was the satellite phone she used to contact her colleagues in 101 innings. It's a call from my people. Long Bing took out the satellite phone and looked at it with a surprised look. Don't answer it, Akiko Tsukino said. Long Bing didn't answer the phone. She didn't need Akiko Tsukino's reminder to know that the Japanese intelligence department was likely to use her colleague's phone to track and locate her current location. As an ace agent in 101 innings, she had used these methods before. Ring, 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 answer the phone. Kenichi Yagyu stopped. Are you going to let it keep thinking about it? Kenichi Yagyu was speaking Chinese, and his pronunciation was perfect and very standard. Long Bing was stunned for a moment, then decisively hung up the phone. This was a special satellite phone in 101 innings. Its anti-tracking performance was better than the satellite phone of the Zodiac team. As long as she didn't answer the phone, it was almost impossible for the Japanese intelligence department to track her current location. Akiko, come and practice with me, Kenichi Yagyu said. He raised his hand and threw the samurai sword in his hand to Akiko Tsukino. Akiko Tsukino reached out and grabbed the handle of the samurai sword. She said to Long Bing, Go into the house and rest first. I'll find you later. Then she stepped into the field and fought with Kenichi Yagyu. The courtyard was suddenly filled with the shadows of swords, and the sound of cold weapons colliding could be heard continuously. Long Bing felt uneasy. She returned to her room. Ring, 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 the satellite phone rang again. The urgent ringing of the bell caused Long Bing to fall into a state of contradiction and pain. She suspected that this was a trick by the Japanese intelligence department to trap her. She couldn't answer the phone. But she also suspected that her colleagues had escaped the control of the Japanese intelligence department and were calling her for help. The probability of this happening was very small, but even if it was 1%, if she didn't answer the phone and her colleagues died because of it, she would be condemned by her conscience for the rest of her life. Should she answer the phone or not? Long Bing was so confused that she couldn't make a decision for a while. But just as she was hesitating, the satellite phone stopped ringing. Did the Japanese intelligence department lose patience so quickly? This is not normal. Long Bing guessed in her heart. Beep. A paragraph of text was suddenly sent to the mailbox. Boss, we escaped. We are hiding in the wild serene Hachikai. We need your help. Please come and meet us as soon as possible. What was going on? Long Bing could no longer judge, and her heart was in a mess. Wild serene Hachikai, why is it wild serene Hachikai again? She and Charlotte had a bloody battle in wild serene Hachikai. It was in that battle that she thought she had killed Gu Kyuan, but Yamosa of the FA organization had escaped. Now his colleagues had escaped to that place. Was this a coincidence, or was it the arrangement of the Japanese intelligence department? Knock, knock. Someone knocked on the door twice. Long Bing stopped thinking and said, Come in. The Japanese-style wooden door slid open, but it was not Akiko Tsukino who walked into the room, but Sayemu. What can I do for you? Long Bing asked him. The members of the Zodiac team were still very strange to her, and she never liked to stay in the same room with strange men. But if it was Charlotte, he could do whatever he wanted. Sayemu sat cross-legged and said, Mrs. Long, you should talk to me. Long Bing frowned slightly and said, About what? Sayemu said, About the phone call you didn't answer just now. Was it your people who called you? Did you see it? Don't forget what I do. Sayemu said. Long Bing said, Yes, it was my men. They called twice, but I didn't answer. I received an email saying that they have escaped and are currently in the wild ninja Hachikai. They want me to meet them there. This is a trap. Long Bing was silent. She also smelled danger, but she couldn't do something like ignore the life and death of her own people. Leave it to me. I will figure out the truth of this matter. Siamu got up. Long Bing looked at him and didn't speak. Siamu smiled bitterly and said, "You are like a block of ice." Forget what I said. What I want to say is that we are on the same side as the boss. You can trust us 100%. However, you have to think about it clearly. Do you want to protect the boss's armed forces or the people of 101 innings? This is something that you need to decide on your own, but no matter what decision you make, we will support you. Long Bing watched Siamu leave. She still didn't speak. Chapter 969. In the afternoon of the next day, the senior staff of Rema Group came to the multi-purpose conference room of the headquarters office building, one after another. The meeting time was set at 2:30, but it was 2:40, but Charlotte had not appeared yet. At the beginning, the conference room was still quiet, but Charlotte did not appear, and the people who participated in the meeting began to talk. Chairman Xia called us over for a meeting. The set time has passed. Why hasn't he come yet? Is there any sudden situation? Huang Shuwen, an artificial intelligence expert, spoke to Eugene Li next to him. Eugene Li said, "I don't know. Maybe there is something." Brother Li, do you think that Chairman Xia called us for a meeting this time because the new material workshop is ready to start construction? Huang Shuwen said. Eugene Li said, "Maybe. This is the most important thing at the moment." Sigh, Chairman Xia is really something. He should have informed us and let us prepare. Don't worry. Chairman Xia is a smart person. I'm afraid he already has a plan in his heart. We just need to do what he says. Eugene Li said with a smile. Others were talking and talking, but Ryu Youngnam seemed very quiet. He sat in a chair and looked at his phone. On the screen of the phone was a diamond ring. The diamond ring was big and bright, and of course, it was expensive. He was probably choosing a proposal ring for Xia Shui. With Xia Shui's current identity and status, it was no problem for her to wear the most expensive jewelry in the world, but he couldn't afford that kind of jewelry. At this time, Qin Kaiwei came in and turned on the two monitors on the conference table. The images of two women suddenly appeared on the monitor. One was Guan Lingshan of Haizhu Base, and the other was Zhou Xiaohong of Shudi Base. Both women were the people who started the business with Charlotte, and they were also the veterans of Rema Group. Guan Lingshan and Zhou Xiaohong were obviously also notified. They couldn't rush to the capital headquarters for the meeting, but they attended the meeting in this way. On the two monitors, Guan Lingshan was sitting upright, calmly waiting to attend the meeting. Zhou Xiaohong was sorting out a report. A middle-aged female secretary was whispering in her ear, apparently reminding her of something. "Is that Zhou Xiaohong, the person in charge of the base in Sichuan?" "Yeah, I heard that she's just a junior high school student." Back then, it was Chairman Xia who took her in. If it wasn't for Chairman Xia, she would probably be washing dishes in some restaurant right now, someone whispered. "Yeah, this is fate." Someone sighed. "What fate?" "I think." Someone wanted to say something, but he didn't dare to continue. Actually, no one said anything about Guan Lingshan, because Guan Lingshan had graduated from a university and was also a senior member of the Rema Group. Zhou Xiaohong, a junior high school student, was the boss of one of the bases of the Rema Group. Those who were educated and capable would definitely be dissatisfied. No one dared to say anything in front of Charlotte, but when Charlotte wasn't around, such discussions would occur. There had never been any equality in this world. There was discrimination everywhere: racial discrimination, nationality discrimination, education discrimination, and geographical discrimination. Qin Kaiwei had just finished setting up the two monitors, and she sat next to Ryu Youngnam. She glanced at Ryu Youngnam, who was looking through his phone to choose a ring, and said with a smile, "Oh, Masahiro, are you buying a ring for Xiaoxue?" Ryu Youngnam hurriedly put away his phone, and just faintly smiled. Qin Kaiwe nudged Ryu Youngnam with her elbow. "What, are you going to propose to Xiaoxue on the day of Chairman Xia's wedding?" Ryu Youngnam awkwardly nodded. "Yes, but I don't know if it will succeed. You are so handsome, and your temper is so good, you will definitely succeed," Qin Kaiwe said, and then she lowered her voice. "How about, I will help you when the time comes, I will definitely succeed." "Thank you, you are so enthusiastic," Ryu Youngnam said politely. 2 German engineers also walked in. The blonde Anina and Sylvia immediately added a beautiful scenery to the conference room, and it also made Qin Kaiwe not the most eye-catching one. Anina and Sylvia sat at the end of the long conference table, and they were whispering in German. "Lucas must be announcing the start of the new material workshop," Anina said. Sylvia said, "I guess so. The world's most perfect aviation material, I am excited just thinking about it. If that material is mass-produced, we must have some of it, and we can build an invincible ZTZ-100 main battle tank." "Do you still need to say it? He will definitely give it to us. He doesn't even come to our place anymore." Sylvia's eyes were a little disappointed, but not sad. "Shoo, his wife is here, don't let her hear you." Anina lowered her voice. Sylvia looked at the door of the multi-purpose conference room, and just happened to see Liang Xiao walking in with a document. She then shut her mouth because she knew this woman's background. She was a former senior intelligence officer of the CIB, and she didn't have the courage to hook up with this woman's man. As soon as Liang Xiao came in, the multi-purpose conference room instantly quieted down. After the conference room quieted down, Liang Xiao said, "Director Xia suddenly left, so I will be hosting this meeting." She then changed the topic. "I believe you guys have guessed it already. That's right, the topic of this meeting is the new material workshop." "Ms. Liang, when will it be built?" Huang Shuwen asked. Liang Xiao said, "Very soon, it will be done before the Chinese New Year. The higher-ups are very pressing, and they want money, manpower, and equipment. The higher-ups have given us unprecedented support, and we are just waiting for the plan." "That's great," Eugene Lee said with a smile. "If that's the case, we will be able to mass-produce the X-mystical metal as soon as next summer. By then, I believe our drones will be born." "Yes, Director Xia and I talked last night, and he has actually designed all the drones of our Rema group," Liang Xiao said. "Director Xia has designed our company's drones?" Huang Shuwen looked very surprised. Liang Xiao nodded. "Yes, he has designed Rema Group's drones. He named this drone Wasp." As soon as the word Wasp was said, the conference room was instantly filled with discussion. "Director Xia has actually designed Rema Group's own drones. That's great. New material, new drones. Rema Group will soon enter the territory ruled by Lockheed Martin Corporation and challenge them." Huang Shuwen was very excited, and his voice was trembling when he spoke. "Is this true?" Someone said, "Isn't this too fast? Do we still need to talk about our Director Xia's speed and ability? Is this considered fast? I don't think it's fast at all. This is normal," someone said. "Yes. It didn't take long for Director Xia to design our own tank. Building a tank is much more difficult than building a drone," someone said. There was a lot of discussion. Qin Kaiwe lowered her head and took notes, looking very serious. Just as the multi-purpose conference room was in a heated discussion, in another room, Charlotte was watching the video in the conference room through the surveillance camera. He carefully observed everyone: Ryu Youngnam, Qin Kaiwe, Huang Shuwen, Eugene Lee. This was the purpose of this meeting. He wanted to use his eyes and his bait to lure the spy out. Liang Xiao said that he had developed a drone that belonged to Rema Group, but that was not true. He named the non-existent drone, Wasp, with the purpose of stinging that guy. The people who have access to the new material project and those who know about this project are all here. Could the spy be among them? Who stole the formula and the sample of mystical metal X and gave it to the Americans? Who leaked Long Bing's mission to Japan? While observing everyone in the conference room, Charlotte was also thinking about this question. In the conference room, Liang Xiao raised her hand again and said with a smile, "I know you are all very excited, and so am I. But it's useless to be excited. Take a look, this is the drone blueprint of Director Xia, the correct formula and production process of mystical metal X. Director Xia has completed the most important part. Next, it's up to you all to work together." Liang Xiao held up the 2 documents she brought. Both documents were marked with a very thick marker. One of the documents had Mystic Gold X written on it, and the other had Hornet written on it. However, she did not open the document. She only showed them and put them down. "Director Liang, can I take a look?" Huang Shuwen asked anxiously. Liang Xiao's gaze fell on Huang Shuwen. "You are in the field of artificial intelligence. Materials and drones are not your area of expertise. Can I take a look?" A material expert from the material laboratory asked. Liang Xiao said, "Don't worry, Director Xia will make the decision on this matter. I brought his secret documents here just to let you know that this matter has reached the most critical moment. We must unite as one and share Director Xia's burden so that Rema Group's new material workshop can be built as soon as possible." The conference room suddenly burst into discussion again. After a long while, Liang Xiao said, "You guys are almost done with your discussion. Tell me more about your opinions. Secretary Qing, please record the speech." "Okay, Director Liang." Qing Kaiwei then opened the record book and entered the secretary mode. Liang Xiao glanced at Eugene Li. "Eugene, you are one of the participants of Secret Metal X and the person in charge of the new material project. You have the most say." Eugene Li thought for a moment and said, "Director Liang, I am making a proposal for Director Xia, and it is only the beginning. After all, I don't know the formula and production process of Secret Metal X. Elder Fan and I have made a sample, but it was a failure. I admire Director Xia very much. He solved the problem. I am very curious about how he did it, but I am not in a hurry. I believe that Director Xia will definitely announce the formula and production process at the right time." Liang Xiao said, "This is not a suggestion." Eugene Li smiled awkwardly. "Director Liang, I believe that Director Xia has already planned everything. He just wants to see our determination. I definitely have this determination. I am willing to do my best for the new material business of Rema Group. I believe that everyone here is the same as me. We, the Thunder Horse people, are never afraid of hardship or tiredness. We are confident that we can make Director Xia feel at ease and satisfied." Qing Kaiwei gently clapped her hands. As soon as she threw out a brick to attract Jade, there was a burst of applause in the conference room. In another room, Xia Lei's brows furrowed slightly. But it was not because he had found someone's tail, nor was it because he had found some clues. It was because everyone looked normal, and it was difficult for him to judge who was the spy. Charlotte picked up a communicator and said in a low voice, "Xiao, let's end the meeting. It is meaningless to continue. Next, we just need to wait for the big fish to eat the bait." In the conference room, Liang Xiao said, "That's it. End the meeting." Chapter 970. After leaving the multipurpose conference room, Liang Xiao came to Charlotte's office. She casually placed the 2 top-secret documents, Secret Gold X and Hornet, on Charlotte's desk. Qing Kaiwei walked in and presented the notebook to Liang Xiao. "Director Liang, this is the transcript I made. Take a look." Liang Xiao took the transcript and threw it on the desk. She said, There was nothing important in the meeting just now, so it's useless to record it. I think so too, so I didn't record much, Qin Kaiwe said. Ring ring ring, ring ring ring, Liang Xiao's phone suddenly rang. She picked up the phone. Hello. Chairman Xia, you want me to come over? Okay, I'll be right there. She walked out as she spoke. Is that Chairman Xia? Qin Kaiwe asked. Yes, it's him. Liang Xiao didn't stop walking. She had already walked out of the door as she spoke. Only Qin Kaiwe was left in the office. After leaving the office, Liang Xiao's voice became softer. I'm already out. The things are on your desk. Keep an eye on them. Charlotte's voice came from the phone. I'm keeping an eye on them. In another room, Charlotte was staring at the monitor of the hacker's computer. On the monitor, Qin Kaiwe was staring at the two top-secret documents, Secret Gold X and Hornet, which were on the table. She was only 2 steps away from the 2 top-secret documents. Go get them, Charlotte said in his heart. As long as Qin Kaiwe reached for the 2 top-secret documents, she would be the spy he was looking for. As long as Qin Kaiwe reached for them, the problem that had been bothering him would be solved, and the hidden danger of Rema Group would also be eliminated. Qin Kaiwe walked over to the desk. In 2 steps, she was beside the desk. She stretched out her hand towards the desk. Is it really you? Charlotte said in his heart. The scene of Qin Kaiwe appearing in front of him for the first time, the work she did in Paris, and even the scene of him almost having sex with her appeared in his mind. There were 2 documents and a record on the desk. Qin Kaiwe's hand slowly reached over. Princess, please answer the phone. Princess, please answer the phone. At this moment, Qin Kaiwe's phone rang. This kind of interesting ringtone was very suitable for women like Qin Kaiwe. Qin Kaiwe retracted her hand and swiped the answer button. She didn't say anything and just hummed twice before hanging up the phone. Then, she reached out to pick up the transcript, turned around, and walked towards the entrance of the company. She actually did not touch the 2 top-secret documents. Charlotte didn't understand. He thought that she would touch the 2 top-secret documents, or even use her phone to take a picture of the contents, but she didn't. She only took a few glances and then left. The door opened and Liang Xiao walked in. She said anxiously, Is it her? Is it her? Charlotte smiled bitterly. Then, he turned the hacker's computer on the desk and turned the screen to face Liang Xiao, who was walking over. There was no one in the office, but the 2 top-secret documents were still on the desk. Isn't it her? Liang Xiao asked in surprise. Xiaolei said, There are no surveillance cameras in my office. Qin Kaiwe knows this, and you weren't there at the time. If she was a spy, would she be able to resist the temptation of the real formula and production process of the Mystic Gold X? Not to mention the secret of the drone. And if she wanted to steal secrets, she only needed to open the documents and take a few pictures with her phone. Liang Xiao frowned. She suddenly took out her phone and made a call. This call was to Qin Kaiwe. Hello? Secretary Qin, I left in a hurry. I forgot to put the 2 top-secret documents on Chairman Xia's desk. Can you go in and help me put them away? Where? In the bottom drawer of his desk. Liang Xiao said. Charlotte asked, Why did you ask her to go back and get them? Liang Xiao said, Try her again. In addition, I asked her to put them away according to common sense. It's not normal for me to just leave such important documents. I asked her to do this. She will feel that I trust her. Charlotte nodded. Liang Xiao used to be a senior intelligence officer in the CIB. There was no doubt about her ability in this area. He believed that she handled it correctly. On the monitor, Qin Kaiwe returned to the office. Qin Kaiwe went straight to the desk and picked up the 2 top-secret documents. She looked at them but did not open them. She opened the drawer under the desk, put the 2 documents in, and then locked the drawer. After doing all this, she left the office. Charlotte said, It's not her. Liang Xiao thought for a moment. According to my observation, It shouldn't be her. But, I was also observing the others in the conference room just now, but you didn't find anything particularly suspicious. Charlotte smiled bitterly. I also observed everyone. I didn't miss anyone. I paid special attention to the expressions of everyone in the conference room when you picked up the 2 top-secret documents and spoke. It's a pity that I didn't find anyone who left any clues. The other party is a master. It seems that we underestimated him. Liang Xiao frowned even more. Charlotte said, Xiao, you used to work in the CIB, and your position was very high. You, Liang Xiao punched Charlotte. You didn't allow me to mention the past. Why did you mention my previous job? I also didn't allow you to mention it. Xiao Lei smiled. I'm just trying to catch that guy. Liang Xiao sat in his arms. I know what you want to know. I will tell you. After a pause, she said, the CIB is a very large organization with tens of thousands of people all over the world. Although I worked in the CIB and my position wasn't low, I can't know every member's information. This kind of behavior is also strictly prohibited. Charlotte sighed. Tens of thousands of people. That's not something you can figure out. Liang Xiao said. Also, the CIB has its own assassins. Those people are directly controlled by the highest level. They are engaged in assassinating political leaders and subverting the enemy's regime. They are the real elites of the CIB. Have you seen that movie? Are you talking about The Bourne Identity? Yes, that's the movie. Sean in The Bourne Identity is based on the CIB's assassins. They are very few in number, but they are definitely the elites of the elite. They won't act on ordinary people, but when they do, it must be a big mission. If we don't catch him this time, maybe in a few decades, his deeds will become a classic teaching case for the CIB. Charlotte's lips curled into a cold smile. I won't let that happen. He can't escape from my palm. Do you have any ideas now? Liang Xiao stared at Charlotte. Charlotte smiled. It's a secret for now. Humph. You're still keeping secrets from me? No, tell me now, or I will tell your son. Liang Xiao twisted her waist and squeezed Charlotte's thigh with her full buttocks, looking like a naughty and innocent girl. In the past, Shiji was very good at acting coquettishly, and Charlotte liked it the most. With Liang Xiao's words, he gave in. Okay, I'll tell you. Put your ear here. Liang Xiao then put her ear next to Charlotte's mouth. Charlotte moved closer to her ear and whispered something. Liang Xiao's face immediately revealed a trace of a smile, and then she nodded again. Just when she thought Charlotte was done, Charlotte suddenly stuck out his tongue. Ah, you. Her face immediately turned red, and even became soft. Charlotte said with a smile, You're the only one allowed to be naughty, but I'm not allowed to be naughty? Liang Xiao suddenly adjusted her sitting position. She curled her lips and her beautiful eyes were dark and watery. Her expression was like a little girl riding a wooden horse who accidentally dropped her lollipop. Her expression suddenly made Charlotte realize something. He hurriedly said, Oh, I remember, I still have something to do. Before he could finish speaking, Shiji's cherry lips blocked his mouth. Pregnant women should not be provoked. This was a valuable experience left by the older generation of men, but he did it knowingly. Love surged in this room like a tidal wave. Madame Liang was playing in the ocean of love, while Madame Long was on the other side of the ocean, struggling to find a way out. Siamu came back and brought her a lot of photos. Some of the photos brought back by Siamu were copied by hacking into the hotel's surveillance system, some were secretly taken with pinhole cameras, and some were even taken by civilian drones in the air. Through these photos, the situation of the entire Wild Ninja 8 Seas was clearly revealed. There were no images of the colleagues in the 101 floors in the photos, but there were many images of Japanese agents who were obviously not ordinary people. Some of them were disguised as tourists, some as the owners or service staff of the Hot Spring Hotel, and some as local farmers. In short, the current wild ninja 8 Seas was no longer a good place for leisure, but a battlefield that could be triggered at any moment. As long as Long Bing appeared in the wild ninja 8 Seas, it would become a battlefield. Mrs. Long, I think you already know very well that the distress signal is simply a trap, just waiting for you to jump into it. Sayama said, I risked my life to take these photos. There are some places I can't take pictures of, but I believe that there are still people from the FA organization lurking in the wild ninja 8 Seas. The few of us plus you will not be able to come back. Mrs. Long, it's time to make a decision. Akiko Tsukino appeared at the door. Even if you don't think for yourself, you have to think for the boss. Even if you don't think for yourself and the boss, you have to think for the child in your belly. Do you have the heart to let him leave this world without even seeing the sunrise? Long Bing subconsciously looked at her little belly. Although it was still flat, she could still feel the existence of the little life inside. Madam Long, is it worth it to destroy everything you have for a mission that you can't complete? Tsukino Enko said. Sayama said, I even suspect that someone deliberately arranged this mission for you. Since you already know the FA organization's Plan B, and the Rema Group has also stationed an air defense company and a set of S-400 air defense missiles, even if the FA organization succeeds in hijacking the plane, what's the use? Long Bing let out a long sigh. Let's go back. Her career as an agent, the last mission, ended in failure. Chapter 971. I'm coming back. Long Bing's voice came from the satellite phone. I gave up, her voice was filled with exhaustion and loss. It's good that you're back. Hearing her words, the stone in Xiao Lei's heart was finally lifted. Come back. I'll take care of the rest. Okay. Long Bing responded. Don't forget that you're not alone. You still have me and your family. No matter how big the problem is, we'll face it together. Okay. Long Bing responded again. Be careful on the road. Okay. After a pause, Long Bing said, You be careful too. Did you catch the spy? Not yet, we'll catch him together when he comes back. Charlotte said. Okay, I'm hanging up. Long Bing hung up the phone. She had always been a woman of few words, but every single one of them sounded so comfortable. Xiao Lei put the satellite phone away, his heart filled with joy. Liang Xiao and Fan Fan both came over and asked at the same time, Is Bing coming back? Charlotte said with a smile, Yes, she gave up the mission. She's coming back. Fan Fan said, That's great. Rui will be here soon. Then we'll be reunited as a family. Liang Xiao said with a smile, You want us to be your bridesmaids, don't you? What bridesmaids and bridesmaids? Fan Fan held Liang Xiao's hand. I'm just holding the ceremony first. None of you will miss out on the ceremony. I'll be your bridesmaid one by one. Liang Xiao was slightly stunned, then looked at Charlotte. Is what Fan Fan said true? Charlotte hugged her. Of course it's true. Where do you want to hold our wedding? Liang Xiao buried her head in Charlotte's embrace, her heart filled with excitement and happiness. I'll tell you when I think of it. There wasn't a woman who didn't want to have her own wedding. Marry a chicken and follow the chicken, marry a dog and follow the dog. Although her situation with Charlotte was very special, and she did not expect to hold a wedding with Charlotte that was highly anticipated, as a woman, how could she not want to have her own wedding? I feel like I've let you guys down, Charlotte said. He really felt this way and felt guilty. Don't say that. You haven't wronged anyone. Liang Xiao gently covered his mouth. That's good. Other families aren't as lively as ours. That's right, our family is the most lively, harmonious, and happy, Fan Fan said with a smile. The three of them hugged each other. Don't you think it's mushy? A woman's voice sounded. Tang Yuyen was here, at a time when she shouldn't be. Tang Yuyen stood at the door in a black suit. She looked very serious. After becoming the chief of 101 innings, her style of dressing had changed. People would always change. There was nothing in this world that was unchanging. Tang Yuyan's appearance was like a stick that smashed into 3 mandarin ducks. In an instant, the 3 entangled mandarin ducks were separated. Yuyan. Charlotte shrugged. Can't you knock on the door? Tang Yuyan said, You guys didn't even close the door. Why would I knock? Charlotte was speechless. Fanfan said, Tang Yuyan, what are you doing here? I'm here to look for Charlotte, Tang Yuyan said. In front of Fanfan, she was always wary and didn't dare to be too presumptuous. Liang Xiao said, Yuyan, why are you looking for Charlotte? Tang Yuyan frowned. I don't think I need to tell you why I'm looking for Charlotte, right? In front of Liang Xiao, she didn't have any scruples. She could get angry if she wanted to. She didn't care about Liang Xiao's feelings at all. Liang Xiao was so angry that she couldn't even speak. But this was just an act on the surface. In fact, she was secretly happy. In terms of scheming, she didn't lose to the eldest daughter of the Tang family at all. As expected, Charlotte said, Xiao, don't be angry. It's not good for the baby. It would have been better if Charlotte hadn't said that. As soon as he said that, Liang Xiao made a retching sound. She covered her mouth and looked like she was about to vomit. Charlotte hurriedly reached out to pat her on the back. He said with concern, Are you okay? Do you want me to help you back to the room to rest? Wretch! Liang Xiao continued to vomit. Charlotte continued to pat her on the back. That's enough. Liang Xiao, can you stop acting? Tang Yuyan's mouth showed a trace of disdain. Charlotte said, Tang Yuyan, you can go back. Tang Yuyan's mood fell into an ice valley. Charlotte's words were like a bucket of ice water poured from her head to her feet. Charlotte added another bucket of ice water. No matter what you want to talk to me about, I'm not free today. Let's set up another time. Tang Yuyan looked at Liang Xiao, who was nestled in Charlotte's arms, and then looked at Charlotte, who was comforting Liang Xiao. Her eyes suddenly became misty. She was the one who was hurt the most. Why wasn't Charlotte comforting her? Not only did he not comfort her, but he also scolded her. Liang Xiao, who was in Charlotte's arms, glanced sideways at Tang Yuyan and winked. It was a provocative gesture. Tang Yuyan wanted to immediately pounce on Liang Xiao and tear her apart, but in the end, she suppressed it. She took a deep breath and said, Xiao, I'm sorry. It's my fault. I'm here to talk to Charlotte about the spy. It's very important. When had the eldest daughter of the Tang family ever lowered her head and softened her stance? This might be her first time. Liang Xiao then got out of Charlotte's arms. Hubby, you should talk to her. Sister Fanfan, let's go back to the house and knit a sweater. Yes, I still need a sleeve for my kid's sweater. I can't knit it well. Teach me. Fanfan followed Liang Xiao. Charlotte was a little speechless. Okay, let's talk. Sit down, let's sit down and talk. Tang Yuyan did not move, but 2 streams of tears flowed out of her eyes and slid down her cheeks silently. Charlotte was most afraid of women crying. He said with a headache, Why are you crying? All right, I apologize to you as well. Just now, I was a little harsh. You knew that she was trying to piss me off and was acting, but you helped her piss me off, Tang Yuyan said angrily. Xia Lei spread his palms. She's carrying my child. I can't risk the pregnancy. Of course I have to help her. Tang Yuyan was speechless. Charlotte said, I'll be direct. I used bait today, but the spy didn't show up. Xiao said that the spy could be the best of the best in the CIB. It won't be easy to catch him. You'd better not do anything. He's very cunning. The moment you do something, he might run away or do something desperate. I heard that you're going to marry Fanfan in the Spring Festival? Tang Yuyan said. She was here to talk about business, and Charlotte was here to talk about business, but she was most concerned about Charlotte's private affairs. Charlotte sighed. Yuyan, I'm sorry, but it's impossible between us. You know that I'm going to get married soon and it's a group marriage, right? Charlotte smiled. I don't think it's a big deal. As long as you're happy, there's no need to care about what the world thinks. Then Tang Yuyen's lips moved. Congratulations. Charlotte nodded. Thank you. Okay, then let's talk about business. Tang Yuyen said, the higher-ups only gave me a week. I don't have much time. If you can't find the spy in 2 days, I'll take action. Everyone will be investigated. Everyone except you is within the scope of the investigation. In 2 days? Are you kidding me? Charlotte frowned. Yuyen, I've already said it very clearly. I've already set the bait, but that guy didn't take it. I have to think of another way. 2 days is enough? Then I don't care. I can only give you 2 days. After 2 days I'll take over. Everyone in the Rema Group's Jingdu headquarters will be restricted. They can't go out and they can't leave the country. Tang Yuyen's tone was very tough. You'd rather kill 1,000 by mistake than let one go? You can think of it that way. This concerns the strategic interests of the country. I think you should be very clear about the nature of this matter. Charlotte was silent for a moment, then said, Yu Yen, ever since you became the director of 101 innings, you seem to have changed into a different person. You're wrong. If I changed, it was from the day you left me and left with Fanfan. Tang Yuyen suddenly lost control of her emotions. You're a liar. Charlotte didn't know what to say. There's one more thing. Tang Yuyen said, I received a call from Long Bing. She requested to end the mission, but I didn't approve. Charlotte's face suddenly darkened. Why? The FA organization is plotting to launch an attack on us similar to the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center. This is the most serious terrorist threat our country has encountered since the founding of the country. As a soldier of the country, she can't back down on the battlefield. Charlotte suddenly became angry. She's your friend. In the face of national interests, I will put my personal feelings aside. You knew she was pregnant, but you still let her carry out such a dangerous mission. Charlotte shouted at her. What are you trying to do? I'm thinking from the perspective of national interests. You should put your personal feelings aside too. Tang Yuyen didn't budge an inch. At this time, Tang Yuyen was like a different person, a stranger. Charlotte was so angry that he laughed. National interests? Haha, do I have to say it out loud? Back then, because of you and Boss sure ostracized Ah Bing and let her complete an impossible mission. She completed it, so she stayed. Then you sent her to Japan to carry out such a dangerous mission. Are you so worried that she will replace you? Let me tell you, this time when she comes back, she will resign from 101 innings. She won't hinder you from being the director of 101 innings. Tang Yuyen was stunned for a moment. She obviously didn't know about this. Is this your own idea? Or is it your father or grandfather's idea? I'm afraid the interests of the Tang family are more important than the interests of the country, right? Charlotte said coldly. The people Ah Bing brought have been caught by the Japanese intelligence department. How can she complete that mission alone? And you didn't even send reinforcements. Tang Yuyen, do you want her to die so badly? Go away. I don't want to see you again. Charlotte sighed deeply. Also, it's useless even if you don't agree. If Ah Bing can't come back, I'll go to Japan to help her. I'd like to see if you can decide for me. Without waiting for Tang Yuyen to say a word, Charlotte turned and left. In the living room, Tang Yuyen stood quietly and didn't move for a long time. Her tears didn't stop. Chapter 972. The next morning, Xia Lei received a text message from Tang Yuyen. I've agreed to let her come back, and I've also agreed to let her resign. You still have 2 days to find out the spy. Charlotte showed the text message to Long Bing and Fanfan. Did she find her conscience? Fanfan said. Liang Xiao said, no way. She probably knew that Bing's resignation wouldn't threaten her position as the bureau chief, so she agreed. The Tang family must be involved in this matter. Long Bing's achievements were far more than Tang Yuyan's. She had once moved a big tiger like Yushanha. More importantly, she was Charlotte's woman. Although Charlotte didn't have any official position in China, he was the hero of the whole nation and the pride of the whole nation. His reputation was like the sun at high noon in this country. If she wanted to replace Tang Yuyan's position, she only needed to do a little bit of work. But this threatened the interests of the Tang family. This might be the reason why Long Bing was excluded and now sent to Japan to carry out a dangerous mission. Could it be that the Tang family leaked the information that Bing went to Japan to carry out a mission? Fan said. Liang Xiao looked at Charlotte, her eyes straight as if waiting for his answer. This kind of eyes also showed that she actually had some kind of answer in her heart. Charlotte smiled bitterly. It can't be. This is a crime of treason. Even if the Tang family has the courage, they would not dare to take this risk. Just talk about it at home, don't mention it outside. You are too soft-hearted and easy to trust people. Fan said. The law says that killing is not allowed, but there are still people who kill, right? The law also says that corruption is not allowed, but there are still people who do it, right? Liang Xiao said. What she said was reasonable, and Charlotte actually had the same idea in his heart, but he was not willing to believe it. Fan asked Grandpa to come to the company today. Charlotte changed the topic. Sure, but why did you ask him to come? Fan looked a little coy. Do you want to talk to him about the wedding? He won't take your betrothal gift. It's not about the wedding. Charlotte said, I want to lie to him. Fan was stunned on the spot. As soon as he arrived at the company, Charlotte got busy. He bent over his desk and typed out a document. Qin Kaiwa walked in. Chairman Xia, why isn't Director Liang around today? Charlotte said, I went to pick a wedding dress with Fan. Qin Kaiwa walked towards Charlotte. Are you going to let her pick for herself or help Fan? Charlotte hurriedly turned off the monitor. He pretended to be serious and said, Kaiwa, don't say that. It won't be good if someone hears it. Qin Kaiwa said with a smile, Chairman Xia, who in the company doesn't know about you? Director Liang often calls old Xia to go home for dinner. Besides, it's not a bad thing. The men in the company are envious of you. Anyway, you can't say that, Charlotte said. Qin Kaiwa walked to the side of the desk and leaned forward slightly. Her three-button shirt collar immediately revealed a patch of snow-white skin. That deep cleavage was also clearly visible, and it exuded an alluring fragrance, which was similar to the smell of cheese. Charlotte subconsciously leaned back a little. What do you want to do? Chairman Xia, have you forgotten what happened in France? You almost... Qin Tsayue's voice was full of temptation. You almost did that to me. Charlotte said, that was a misunderstanding. Qin Tsayue's upper body continued to attack Charlotte. Xiao, you're here. Charlotte suddenly said. Qin Kaiwa stood up straight and looked back, only to find that Liang Xiao didn't come at all. Her little mouth suddenly curled up. Chairman Xia, you're lying. Charlotte said lightly, Kaiwa, don't make trouble. We'll never have that kind of possibility. If you do this again, I'll transfer you to Sichuan. Go make me a cup of tea. Qin Tsayue's eyes suddenly dimmed. Just now, Charlotte gave her the feeling that he was an old friend, but now he was her boss, giving her a cold and heartless feeling. And she was just an employee who was paid by him. Qin Kaiwa turned around to make tea for Charlotte. Charlotte turned on the monitor to work, and when Qin Kaiwa came over with a cup of tea, he turned it off again. Chairman Xia, what are you typing? Qin Kaiwa put a cup of Jin Junmei tea on the desk. Charlotte said, don't ask, go and do your work. Okay. Qin Kaiwa turned around and left. Wait. Charlotte stopped her again. Go and get ready. Elder Fan will come today. First, set up the multi-purpose conference room, and then go and inform my chef to prepare lunch. Are there a lot of people coming? Qin Kaiwa asked. Not many, just a few military leaders. Oh, by the way, you have to do it properly. Go find some girls who can sing and dance and do some cultural performances, Charlotte said. For the question, Chairman Xia. Qin Kaiwe said, Chairman Xia, what kind of military leaders are coming? We haven't done any cultural performances before, why are we doing it this time? Charlotte said, this time, it's the head of the Air Force, and there's also a big shot from Pakistan. It's said that the big shot from Pakistan is related to our strategic interests in South Asia. This time, he came with a... Speaking of this, he stopped. That's enough for you to know. Go and do your work. Remember to find more beautiful girls who can sing and dance. The appearance of our Rema group is also very important. Qin Kaiwe smiled. Then I'll do it myself. I'm the representative of the appearance of Rema group. Charlotte waved his hand. Go, go. Qin Kaiwe left. Charlotte then turned on the monitor of his work computer and entered the surveillance system of Rema group. This time, he didn't use any hacking methods, because he had the highest authority in Rema group. Video windows appeared on the monitor one after another, and many people in every corner of Rema group also entered his site. The second phishing operation had begun. There were many people who were worthy of suspicion, but there was no direct evidence to prove that someone was a spy. He asked Qin Kaiwe to find a girl who could sing and dance, so this matter would definitely reach the ears of the spy. And this was the first step of his plan. This operation originally wouldn't be carried out so quickly, but Tang Yuyan only gave him 2 days. If he couldn't catch the spy within these 2 days, 101 innings would intervene. At that time, the spy would either run away upon hearing the news, or he would do something crazy that would cause both sides to die. No matter which result it was, he didn't want to accept it. He wanted to catch the guy himself. At the same time, in the Academy of Sciences, Fan Fan put a brand new suit on Fan Yiming's desk. What is it? Fan Yiming, who was working on his desk, raised his head and looked at his baby granddaughter. Fan Fan said, Grandpa, change into this, then go to Rema Group. I'm not going. Fan Yiming felt like he was stepped on. That brat even hid it from me. Who am I to him? I'm his grandpa. He doesn't treat me as his grandpa, so I don't treat him as my grandson. Listen to me, don't marry him. If you marry him, he won't give you happiness. Grandpa, you're like a child. Fan Fan curled up the corner of her mouth. He didn't tell you because you don't have the ability to protect that secret. Do you know how important that secret is to our country? I can't protect you for so long. Do you think I can't protect a secret? How can it be the same? Also, didn't he say that when we get married, he will tell you? I won't be able to eat or sleep during this period of time. Who knows, I might die before you guys get married. What are you talking about? If you say that again, I won't talk to you anymore. Ignore me then, ignore me. Sometimes Fan Yiming really was like a child. His resentment towards Charlotte was as deep as a brat's resentment towards his class teacher. Fan Fan sighed. Grandpa, this time I came to ask you to accompany an important person from Pakistan to the Rema Group, as well as the leader of the Air Force. This is a very important matter. Your presence will let them feel our sincerity. Listen to me, change your clothes and go. I'm not going, no matter what you say, I won't go. Fan Yiming was very stubborn. Fine. Fan Fan said, you go. If you go, I'll ask Charlotte to give you the formula for the X-dense gold and the secret to its production. You can take it back to study it, how about that? Fan Yiming's eyes lit up with excitement. Is what you said true? Of course it's true, I'm your granddaughter, why would I lie to you? Fan Fan said very seriously. He will listen to you? I'm carrying his child in my stomach. He will listen to whatever I say. Fan Fan straightened her waist a little, and her small belly, which was already a little protruding, suddenly bulged out very obviously. I knew it would be like this, you too. Sigh, forget it, I don't want to criticize your lifestyle, I'm going to go change. Fan Yiming picked up the suit on the table and went to the resting room. Fan Fan walked out of the office and went to her office in the Science Institute. Opening the door, there were a few people in the Air Force uniform. There was also a Pakistani. He was wearing ethnic clothing, light brown, deep-set eyes, high nose bridge. He was a typical Punjabi. This ethnic group was the main ethnic group in Pakistan, a branch of the Aryan race. It was very easy to recognize. Liang Xiao was also in the office. She asked, "How is it?" Fan Fan smiled. "It's settled. My grandpa is very easy to coax. Sometimes he's like a child." Sometimes Fan Yiming was like a child, and women were born to coax children. "I'm also done here." Liang Xiao's face also revealed a smile. At this time, a few senior officers of the Air Force took the initiative to come over, one by one reaching out their hands to shake Fan Fan's hand, each one of them calling her Senior Officer Fan very affectionately. These people were not the leaders of the Air Force, they were the teachers of the Capital Film Academy. Each one of them was a veteran actor. The Pakistani was also not some big shot in Pakistan. He was a Pakistani actor who came to the Capital Film Academy to further his studies. "Are you guys okay?" Fan Fan asked. "Of course not." The group of veteran actors seemed very relaxed. "Do you remember what you need to say?" Fan Fan asked again. "We all remember, don't worry Senior Officer Fan, we will definitely put on a good show." The group of veteran actors said. "Okay, let's go." Fan Fan said. A group of veteran actors, 2 big-bellied directors. The only extra actor also changed into a suit. He was full of energy. A good show was about to begin. Chapter 973. A few cars with special license plates arrived at the Rema Group's Kyoto headquarters under the escort of 2 military off-road vehicles. The employees of the Rema Group lined the road to welcome them, and there were even beautiful girls who sent flowers. The scene was formal and grand, very lively. "What are these leaders doing at our company?" In the crowd, Huang Shuwen asked curiously. Qin Xiang, who was standing beside him, said slowly, "I heard that the Pakistani is the representative of the Pakistani military. His identity is very important. This time, he came to see our Rema Group's drone design and new materials. Our drone and new materials are still in the design stage, and Pakistan came to visit?" Huang Shuwen was very surprised. Qin Xiang said lightly, "What do you know? Pakistan is Pakistan Railways. I heard from Director Xia that this time, Pakistan Railways will rent another port to us. This is a national matter, and the United States is very anxious. Pakistan has 3 ports, one of which, Gwadar, was built with the assistance of China and signed a lease agreement. This agreement shortened China's oil transportation by 85% and was a very important strategic energy benefit. Although Qin Xiang didn't say what other port it was enough for Huang Shuwen to understand the importance of this matter. He suddenly understood. "I understand, this is a national matter, no wonder Director Xia is so concerned, and even arranged for us to welcome the VIPs." Similar words came out of Lu Xing's mouth. Then, many people knew. Charlotte shook hands with the important people from Pakistan and the leaders from the Air Force. He was very polite and very elegant. In this kind of situation, he behaved like an outstanding diplomat. Fan Fan was also in this group, but Liang Xiao didn't appear. Fan Yiming's gaze fell on Charlotte, his eyes filled with anticipation and anxiety. He didn't care about national matters, he only cared about the correct formula and production process of Charlotte's X-secret gold. He was like those mad scientists portrayed in the movies. In order to obtain the scientific secrets he wanted, he would give everything he had. Fan Yiming waited for Charlotte to finish exchanging greetings with the leaders. He then moved closer to Charlotte and said, "Charlotte, when did you—" Charlotte interrupted him, "Grandpa, don't worry. I will definitely do what I promised you." "You brat, don't tell me you colluded with Fan Fan to trick me?" Fan Yiming didn't want to wait another minute. Xia Lei looked at Fan Fan beside him as if he was asking for help. Fan Fan rolled her eyes at her grandfather. Grandpa, why are you in such a hurry? Although it's an order from above, you can't say it at this time. Fan Yiming shut his mouth. Xia Lei brought a few chiefs and the VIPs of Pakistan to the office building. The big shot from Pakistan spoke to Charlotte in Chinese as they walked. Mr. Xia, I'm going to see your new material and drones soon. I'm very excited. You are the greatest genius I've ever seen. I invite you to visit Pakistan. You will definitely receive the highest standard of treatment. Charlotte smiled and said, Thank you, I will definitely visit your country. Mr. Xia, I have a presumptuous request. The big shot from Pakistan said. Charlotte said, Mr. Abbas, please speak. Don't be shy. It's like this, Mr. Xia. Can I bring a sample of the new material back? The big shot from Pakistan's eyes were filled with anticipation. Charlotte seemed a bit hesitant. Fan Fan came over and said, Old Xia, just agree to Mr. Abbas' request. Charlotte nodded his head. Okay, I'll cut a piece for Mr. Abbas later. Mr. Abbas can bring it back to your country. Allah bless you, Mr. Xia. You are the most honorable friend of the Pakistani people. Abbas looked very excited as he shook hands with Charlotte again. The group arrived at the multi-purpose conference room. Charlotte, what about the thing you promised me? Fan Yiming stopped at the entrance of the multi-purpose conference room. Fan Fan sighed helplessly. Grandpa, you're really… I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to my grandson. Fan Yiming said. Charlotte smiled bitterly. Okay, Fan Fan, you go and greet the leaders. I'll go with Grandpa to my office. I'll give it to him. Fan Fan brought a few people into the conference room, while Charlotte brought Fan Yiming to his office. After entering the office, Xia Lei opened his safe and took out a file and a USB flash drive from the safe. Just as he put the file and the USB into a black locked box, Qin Kaiwe walked in. He hurriedly closed the box. Kaiwe, why did you come in? Qin Kaiwe said, Chairman Xia, I came to tell you that the leaders are already waiting for you in the multipurpose conference room. I know. Charlotte handed the locked box to Fan Yiming. Fan Yiming excitedly said, Charlotte, what's in that USB? Charlotte coughed. Fan Yiming seemed to have reacted and closed his mouth. He awkwardly said, I understand. I'll go back first. You're going back so soon? Charlotte looked very surprised. I don't want to have a meeting. I'll go back and study the thing you gave me. That's it, I'll go first. Fan Yiming said as he left. Grandpa, be careful. Charlotte warned. I know. You're even more talkative than Fan Fan. While speaking, Fan Yiming had already left the office. Charlotte wanted to chase after him. Qin Kaiwe said, Chairman Xia, do you need me to go tell the leaders that you'll be waiting for a bit? Charlotte stopped and said, Kaiwe, go tell Lu Xing to bring a few people to escort Elder Fan. Okay, I'll go right now. Qin Kaiwe turned around and left the office. When there was only one person left in the office, Charlotte let out a sigh. Although the truth had not been solved, he knew that he was close to the truth. Fan Fan walked in and said with a bit of anxiety, Hubby, I saw my grandpa drive away by himself. How is it going? You'll know soon. Charlotte said. My grandpa. Fan Fan was a bit worried. Charlotte held her hand and then whispered in her ear, with Xiao and the 4 female knights protecting him, he'll be fine. Then what are we going to do? Fan Fan said. Charlotte said, you stay here and wait. I'm going to catch that guy myself. Then be careful. Fan Fan warned. Charlotte nodded. He went to the safe again and took out another box. Inside the box was an exquisite human skin mask of a woman, as well as a set of women's clothes. When Fan Fan saw Charlotte put on the human skin mask, she said in surprise, Isn't that the German female engineer, Anina? Charlotte put on the golden wig and said, Help me put some sponge in my bra. I'm in a hurry. Fan. 3 minutes later, Charlotte turned into a blonde beauty. Anina was about the same height as him. His body was slender and well-proportioned. After stuffing 2 lumps of sponge in his chest, he really did turn into a blonde with big breasts and a big butt. If she hadn't seen the process with her own eyes, Fan might have thought that he was Anina. I'm going. Charlotte kissed Fan's cheek and then quickly walked out. After leaving the office, Charlotte got into a company's Great Wall pickup. When he drove out of the gate, he took out his phone and made a call. Lu Xing, did Qin Kaiwa look for you? No, why is she looking for me? It was Lu Xing's voice. Then did you see her? I saw her. She's calling in front of my office. Do you want me to ask her? No, ask someone to see where Eugene Lee is, and then call me back. Charlotte hung up the phone, slammed on the accelerator, and the Great Wall pickup sprinted forward. There was something wrong with Qin Kaiwa. Her foxtail had already been exposed. If she had found Lu Xing and conveyed his words immediately, she would have no problem. But when she came to Lu Xing's office door, she didn't go in. Instead, she called someone to buy time. Who is she calling? Who was he trying to buy time for? Is she not the only spy? She and Eugene Lee have that kind of intimate relationship. Is she seducing Eugene Lee to get the secret? How much does Eugene Lee know? What role does he play in this matter? Charlotte pondered these questions in his heart. At this point, he was actually only a layer of paper away from the truth, and what he needed to do now was to pierce through this layer of paper. This was his second plan to lure the snake out of its hole. He put the document and the USB into a locked box, and then had Fan Yiming take it away. He also told Qin Kaiwa to notify people to protect Fan Yiming. This would give the spy a signal that the box contained the correct formula and production process of mystical gold X. As for the USB, the spy would have his own guess. The spy would guess that it was Rema Group's new drone. Coupled with the arrival of the head of the Air Force and the big shots from Pakistan, this would send another signal to the spy, which was that the country's power was about to intervene. And he only had one chance to get the fruit. His plan wasn't perfect, and it wasn't difficult to find a flaw in it. But people were like this. Sometimes they had to take a gamble. Even if they knew it was dangerous, they didn't want to miss the opportunity. Ring, 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 ring. Charlotte answered the phone. Lu Xing, speak. Eugene Lee is in his lab. He seems to be writing a report. Lu Xing said. Charlotte frowned. Was Eugene Lee innocent? If he was colluding with Qin Kaiwa, he should have taken action by now. Yet, he was in his lab. Chairman Xia, she's here. Control her and secretly imprison her. Charlotte hung up. At the same time, a sedan with a red flag was driving on the road to the capital. The driver was Fan Yiming. Whitestag had been left behind by him. There weren't many cars on the road after leaving Whitestag. The road conditions were good, but because he was an old man, Fan Yiming didn't drive very fast. He only went about 40 to 50 kilometers per hour. A container truck drove over from the front. Chapter 974. Qin Kaiwa put down her phone. She went to Lu Xing's office door and knocked twice. Come in. Lu Xing's voice came from the office. Qin Kaiwa pushed open the door and walked in. Her gait was light and graceful, reminiscent of a butterfly, full of beauty. Her face also had a charming smile, making people feel intimate. This was also a reflection of her good mood. Lu Xing got up and walked towards Qin Kaiwa, saying, Secretary Qin, what did you want to see me for? Qin Kaiwa said, Director Xia told me to come. Speaking to her, she stopped and waited for Lu Xing to ask her. Does Director Xia have any work arrangements for me? Lu Xing walked to Qin Kaiwa's side, standing on the same line as her. Qin Kaiwa said, Director Xia told me to tell you to bring a few people to protect old Mr. Fan Yiming. Quickly go, old Mr. Fan Yiming should still be in the parking lot. Is that so? Lu Xing's expression was strange, his mouth also revealed a trace of a sneer. Why are you looking at me like that? What are you smiling at? Lu Xing smiled, causing Qing Caiyue's smile to disappear. Lu Xing said, Secretary Qing, you look very nervous. Why? Am I? I don't know what you're talking about. I have already brought Director Xia's words. Whether you want to go or not is up to you. Qing Caiyue turned and walked towards the door. Lu Xing suddenly grabbed Qing Caiyue's arm. Qing Caiyue struggled a bit, but Lu Xing's hand was like an iron clamp, she was unable to break free. She suddenly became nervous. What do you want to do? Let me go. You're hurting me. Why don't you call someone? Lu Xing said. Qing Caiyue did not dare call someone. Come with me, I'll take you to a place. Lu Xing pulled Qing Caiyue towards the door. Where are you taking me? Qing Caiyue's face had already lost all color. At this time she seemed to have realized something. Her eyes were filled with fear and nervousness. You'll know soon. Lu Xing said. Rip. The sound of fabric being torn rang out in the office. Qing Caiyue tore open her shirt and bra. A patch of snow-white skin was immediately exposed, trembling and delicate. It was undeniable that her breasts had an irresistible charm. Lu Xing was stunned. What do you want? Brother Xing, I've always liked you. I just didn't dare to confess to you. Just take me. I really can't endure the pain of missing you anymore. Give it to me, give it to me. As she spoke, her body was like a loach that burrowed into Lu Xing's embrace. Her snow-white hands were even more unscrupulously pressed against Lu Xing's chest. Do you really like me? Lu Xing looked very surprised. Don't talk, kiss me. Qing Caiyue closed her eyes. Brother Xing, you can do whatever you want. I'll promise you anything. But Lu Xing didn't move. At this moment, Qing Caiyue's hand quietly reached into her uniform skirt. When the hand reappeared, there was an injection tube that looked like a ballpoint pen in the palm of the hand. This was a hidden weapon for killing. But before Qing Caiyue could insert the syringe into her body, one of Lu Xing's fists ruthlessly smashed into Qing Caiyue's stomach. Qing Caiyue let out a muffled groan. Her entire body bent down like a lobster. At that moment, Lu Xing's palm blade ruthlessly chopped down on her neck. Qing Caiyue fell down, her snow-white hands falling onto the cold floor. His plump snow-white breasts were pressed under her body and flattened into shape. Damn, why didn't you seduce me before? Seducing me now that something has happened? Lu Xing muttered to himself. Then, he used his leg to kick Qing Caiyue's perky buttock. But he didn't use much strength and was purely toying with her. A few minutes later, Lu Xing left his office and headed straight for the materials lab. Charlotte had given him 2 missions. One was to capture Qing Caiyue, and the other was to keep an eye on Eugene Li. In the materials lab, Eugene Li was typing on his plan in his office. He looked very serious and focused on his work. Even when Lu Xing appeared at the door of his office, he didn't look up. Mr. Li, are you still busy? Lu Xing said aloud. Li Yudun looked up and saw Lu Xing at the door. A smile immediately appeared on his face. So it's Brother Lu. Is there anything I can help you with? Nothing, it's just a routine security check. Lu Xing said, You know, this kind of check has to be done more than a dozen times a month. I'm almost bored to death. Eugene Li said, It's work, it's like this. You see, I'm the same as you. I have to hurry up and get the plan done. Chairman Xia is still waiting for it. Then you go ahead, I'm going to work. Lu Xing turned around and left without staying. The mission that Charlotte gave him was to see what Eugene Li was doing, not to capture Eugene Li. After Lu Xing left, Eugene Li continued to bury his head in his work. He was still as serious and focused as ever. On the other side of the road, on the road to the capital, the container truck suddenly turned its steering wheel. The vehicle that weighed a few tons crashed into Fan Yiming's Hongqi sedan. Fan Yiming suddenly stepped on the brakes. His driving speed was very slow, and in an instant, the Hongqi sedan came to a stop. The container truck also braked and didn't crash into the sedan. The passenger seat door of the container truck opened. An armed man wearing a black combat suit and bulletproof vest opened the door of the passenger seat. He was holding an American-made M4 and an M203 grenade launcher assault rifle. He quickly rushed towards Fan Yiming's car. Behind him, the container door also opened. 4 other armed men jumped out of the container and surrounded Fan Yiming's car from both sides. These 5 armed men all had their faces covered, but from their ridiculously strong physiques, they weren't Asians. They were either tall white or black people. Fan Yiming was scared half to death. He even forgot to reverse the car and escape. However, even if he had this thought, it was useless, because 2 armed men simultaneously shot at the 2 wheels of his car. There was no sound of gunfire. All of the guns of the armed men were equipped with silencers. The sound was almost inaudible. One of the armed men reached out and grabbed the door of the Hongqi sedan. At that moment, a bullet that came out of nowhere hit his head. Half of his head was blown off. Blood and brain matter sprayed onto the car window. The corpse that was left with half a head fell onto the car door and slid to the ground. Fan Yiming had never seen such a terrifying scene in his life. He screamed and then fainted in the driver's seat. 222. The moment the dead armed man fell to the ground, the remaining 4 armed men determined the location of the sniper and fired in that direction. One of the armed men pulled out a smoke grenade from his belt and threw it in the direction of the sniper. The driver of the container car turned the car around without a second's delay. Crash! The car window shattered. Another bullet flew in from another direction. This bullet directly penetrated the side window and pierced through his ear into his brain before stopping. 2 of the 6 armed men died in an instant. The remaining 4 all hid beside Fan Yiming's Hongqi sedan. Under the cover of the smoke grenade, the snipers on the left and right sides couldn't see the target. Even if they saw the target, they wouldn't dare to shoot because the person sitting in the car was the president of China's Academy of Sciences, Fan Yiming. Only someone with Fan Yiming's status could attract the big snake. However, there was a disadvantage to using him as a bait. Once he was captured, it would be a big problem. Drag that old man out. In the smoke, one of the armed men quickly ordered, "And that box." One of the armed men in the commander opened fire while the other 2 opened the car door. One of them took the locked box from the passenger seat while the other grabbed Fan Yiming's hand and dragged him out of the car. After emptying a magazine, the commander used a satellite phone to make a call. Password A120, codename Wang Shi. We have been ambushed and are preparing to escape with the hostage. Please arrange a rescue. A pickup truck suddenly rushed over from the direction of Rema Group. There is a car coming from 6 o'clock. One of the armed men suddenly shouted, "Kill it!" But before the armed men could open fire, the pickup truck stopped. Then, a sharp voice came from the side of the car door. Password A120, codename Wang Shi. I am the one who will rescue you. Don't shoot. One of our own? The commander was shocked. Just as he called for help, the person who would rescue him descended from the sky. This efficiency was so fast that it was suspicious. Open that box, the voice said. There is a tracking device inside. We will be tracked. Open the box, take the things inside, and then we will leave this place. Even though his heart was filled with suspicion, in this kind of environment, the commander did not have the time to think and analyze. He chose the simplest method. He aimed the night vision device on his head in the direction of the pickup truck. Stand up. A blonde woman's head popped out from the side of the hood and then shrunk back down. Hurry. We are running out of time. Open the box and take out the things inside. Bring the hostage with you. The commander gave a new order. If the other party was an Asian person, he would continue to be suspicious, but the other party was a white woman. He forced himself to believe that the blonde woman was the one who would rescue him. One of the armed men aimed the gun at the lock of the locked box and pulled the trigger. The lock on the locked box popped open, and he reached out to open the lid. Boom! A blinding white light suddenly burst out from the box, followed by an unbearable roar and shockwave. Inside the box was not only the top-secret document and the flash drive, but there was also a stun grenade. Under the strong light and the shockwave, the 4 armed men lost their ability to move. They fell to the ground one by one, but they did not faint. Amidst the double vision and dizziness, the commander saw a blonde woman appear like a ghost in front of him, and then the handle of the gun hit his head. That was the last thing he saw. After that, his consciousness fell into darkness, and he could not feel anything. The blonde woman was none other than Charlotte. He had disguised himself as Anina to trick Ching Tsayue's eyes, but he did not expect it to play a very important role at this moment. The commander was the first to be knocked out by Xiaolei, but 3 seconds later, the other 3 also received the same treatment. All of them were hit in the head with the butt of the XL 2500 sniper rifle, causing them to be physically knocked out. Fan Yiming also fell to the ground, but he had fainted earlier, so he was not affected by the stun grenade. Charlotte took away all the weapons of the armed men, and then used the XL 2500 sniper rifle to shoot the 2 corpses. He did not just shoot once, but several times. After doing all this, Charlotte took out the satellite phone and said, "You guys can leave now. Don't go back to Rema Group for now. Then I'll go pick out a wedding dress." Liang Xiao's voice came from the satellite phone. "Okay, and I'll be back tonight. I want to eat the salmon you made. Eating fish is good for the baby." Charlotte, there was a pile of brains next to her. Did she really have to say fish at this time? Chapter 975. Tang Yuyan came with a large group of agents from 101 innings. However, the task that Charlotte left for 101 innings was to collect the corpses. Before the people from 101 innings arrived, Charlotte had already taken care of everything, including the clothes on his body and the human skin mask on his face. Looking at the 2 corpses that were shot into pieces by the XL 2500 sniper rifle, Tang Yuyan frowned. "Do you have to do this?" Charlotte said. "What else do you want me to do? Reason with them? Convince them to put down the hostages and surrender?" "You know that's not what I mean. What I mean is, why did you shoot so many times?" Tang Yuyan said. She looked at Charlotte, her eyes full of speculation. She was never the kind of woman who was easily fooled. "I was unhappy, so I shot a few more times." "Is there a problem?" Charlotte said. "Of course there's no problem." Tang Yuyan did not dwell on this matter too much. She changed the topic. "These people, who do you think they are?" Charlotte glanced at the commander who was still unconscious. "These people are very well equipped, and they match the equipment characteristics of the American Delta Commandos. Their combat skills are very high. I suspect that they are the commandos of the most elite Delta Commandos in the United States. However, I'm sure you won't receive anything from them that can prove their identity. Even if they found them, the United States would not admit it. Did you catch the spy?" "I caught the small one and the big one," Charlotte said. "Two?" Tang Yuyan said in surprise. "Are you sure?" Charlotte nodded. 80%. "Who is it? I'll go and arrest him immediately." Charlotte said, "Didn't we agree to meet in 2 days? It's only been a day. Come back in a day." "You can't make the decision on this." Charlotte's lips curled into a smile. "This is Fanfan's idea. I can't make the decision, but she can, right? Don't use that woman to pressure me." Tang Yuyan lost control of her emotions. Charlotte sighed. "Yuyan, take these people back and interrogate them. Maybe you can get some valuable information. The Thunder Horse military factory is mine. I have the final say. I want to capture him myself. There are some things I need to figure out." What do you want to figure out? Tang Yuyen stared at Charlotte. You will know, but not now. Charlotte turned around and walked towards the unconscious Fan Yiming. Wait. Tang Yuyen stopped him. You, Charlotte looked back at her. Is there anything else?
Do you hate me?
What makes you think so? Said Charlotte. That's the feeling you give me. Tang Yuyen was very agitated. Let me tell you, you have no right to hate me, but I have the right to hate you. Charlotte spread his hands. Then hate me. I'll go back first. I'll call you when I'm done. You. Tang Yuyen wanted to say something, but the words were stuck in her throat and she couldn't spit them out. She said that she had the right to hate Charlotte, but in her heart, she knew that she didn't hate him at all. In fact, she didn't have the right to do so. If it wasn't for Charlotte saving her, she would have died on that snowy mountain in Ta Wang in the Shi province. As for her and Xia Lei's so-called engagement, it actually happened under the circumstances that the Tang family had pressured them step by step and used some dishonorable means. If it wasn't for these things, would Charlotte sit together with her and talk about marriage? She owed Charlotte. She wouldn't be able to repay him in this lifetime. How could she hate him? Charlotte carried the unconscious Fan Yiming and walked towards the pickup. Charlotte, you bastard! Tang Yuyen roared. Charlotte acted as if he didn't hear her. He put Fan Yiming on the sofa in the back seat and got in the car. He turned the car around and drove towards the headquarters of the Rema Group. Whether he was a bastard or not, he didn't care anymore. The reason why he made an appointment with Tang Yuyen in 2 days was not because Tang Yuyen was now the bureau chief of 101 innings and he had to listen to her. The reason was that he couldn't let Tang Yuyen enter the Rema Group to investigate the employees of the Rema Group. That would bring chaos to the Rema Group. The other reason was that he wanted to personally capture the spy and interrogate him about whether he leaked the information about Long Bing's trip to Japan. If he did, he could immediately call Tang Yuyen and have him take the spy away. If he didn't, then the one who leaked the information about Long Bing's trip to Japan was someone else. Wanting to kill his wife was equivalent to wanting to kill his child. He had to get to the bottom of this. When the car reached Whiterun, Fan Yiming suddenly woke up. He got up abruptly and then shouted, "Ah, don't scream, Grandpa." Charlotte stopped the car. Hearing Charlotte's voice and seeing Charlotte, Fan Yiming calmed down a little. Where is this place? Whitestag. Don't you see that auntie selling pancakes at the entrance? She's the public face of Whitestag, Charlotte said with a smile. Brat, I'm not in the mood to joke with you. Fan Yiming looked left and right. Just now, I saw a gunman standing beside my car door. Then, half of his head flew off. Is that real? Charlotte said, It's true. You almost died. I killed those guys and snatched you back from their hands. What about those things? Fan Yiming nervously said, You gave me a password-protected box. Where is it now? Tell me. Charlotte sighed. It's been destroyed. I'll have to redo it. Redo it? Yes, redo it. My brain is not a computer. How can I remember so many things? I gave you the original files and data, and they were destroyed by the explosion. How can I not redo them? Xia Lei sighed. Sigh, all the hard work I've put in for so long has been wasted. Well, Fan Yiming wanted to console Charlotte, but he couldn't bring himself to say it when he remembered that he was the cause of it. Grandpa, just bear with it a little longer. I'll give it to you when I'm done, all right? Charlotte said. That's all I can do for now. But make sure to make a copy next time. Don't make the same stupid mistake again, Fan Yiming reminded. All right, I'll keep that in mind. Then, about my marriage with Fan Fan. You're not trying to find an excuse to delay it, are you? Let me tell you, no way. Fan Yiming said agitatedly. My granddaughter's stomach is already big because of you. You must marry her, the sooner the better. Charlotte was speechless. He actually wanted to talk about the betrothal gift or something, but Fan Yiming was so understanding and agitated that he didn't know how to continue the conversation. He released the clutch and Changpi drove on again. When he entered the gate, Charlotte saw Lu Xing standing next to the guardroom. He casually asked, "What is he doing?" Lu Xing replied, "He's in the lab working on a proposal." Charlotte turned his head to look at Fan Yiming, who was sitting on the sofa. He didn't say anything, but Lu Xing tacitly moved to the driver's window and whispered into Charlotte's ear, "I don't think there's anything wrong with him. He looks very normal, and I also think he's very normal. You don't have to worry about this." Charlotte said, "What about her?" "Her?" Lu Xing's mind suddenly flashed with Qing Tsayue's snow-white beauty. He smiled. "I locked her up in my guardroom and locked her up. I even had someone watch over her. She can't run away." "Then I'll go take a look." Charlotte started the car and left. Fan Yiming was lying on the sofa in the driver's seat, his face full of suspicion. "Grandson, what were you whispering to that big guy? What are you up to this time?" Charlotte said, "Grandpa, you still have the nerve to say that? Isn't this all because of your impatience? I haven't even settled the score with you yet, and you still have the nerve to say that? Let's talk about the betrothal gift. My great-grandson is about to be born. You have to buy him a house, right?" Fan Yiming said. "Charlotte, who said this old man didn't care about the trends of the times?" Just as the car stopped, Fan Fan ran out of the office building. She had an anxious expression on her face. When she saw Charlotte and Fan Yiming get out of the car, a big stone in her heart immediately fell to the ground. "Hubby!" Fan Fan threw herself into Charlotte's embrace. Because she was emotional, her voice slightly trembled. "It's good that you're back. I was worried to death, worried to death." "Humph." Fan Yiming coughed. Only then did Fan Fan raise her head from Charlotte's embrace. She looked at Fan Yiming. "Grandpa, are you okay?" "I'm fine," Fan Yiming said. "If you're fine, why are you coughing?" Fan Fan said. Fan Yiming momentarily choked. He pointed at her nose. Am I your real grandpa?" "Yes," Fan Fan said. Fan Yiming unhappily said, "Then why did you only hug him and not hug me? What do you mean? Now that you have a husband, you don't even want your grandfather?" Only then did Fan Fan leave Charlotte's embrace. She held Fan Yiming's hand. "You're just like a child. I'll help you to rest." "Oh right, are you injured?" Fan Yiming glared at Charlotte. "Remember, this is my great-grandson's house. You still want to buy a car for my granddaughter. Nowadays, who doesn't want a house and a car when they marry?" "Charlotte, Grandpa, if you do this again, I won't care about you anymore." Fine, I won't say it anymore," the grandfather and grandson muttered as they entered the office. Lu Xing also walked over. Charlotte followed him to his duty room. There were 2 Rema Group security guards standing at the door. Seeing Charlotte and Lu Xing walk over, the 2 security guards stood at attention for a moment. Then one of them unlocked the door and pushed it open. Charlotte walked in and immediately saw Qing Kaiyue lying on the bed. Qing Tsayue's hands and legs were tied with rope. Her chest was wide open. Her eyes were closed and she didn't move. "That," Lu Xing awkwardly said, "I didn't do it. She tore it open herself. I originally wanted to cover it up for her, but her clothes were torn and I couldn't cover it up." Charlotte acted as if he didn't hear what Lu Xing said. 5 seconds after seeing Qing Kaiyue, his face suddenly became serious. He quickly walked to the bed and reached out to touch Qing Tsayue's neck. Chapter 976. Qing Tsayue's neck was hard, but it was not extremely stiff. Only one kind of person would have this kind of neck, and that was a dead person. Moreover, it was a person who had been dead for more than an hour. And an hour ago, Charlotte was still chasing after Fan Yiming. Lu Xing seemed to have realized something. He moved closer to the bed and reached out his hand to touch Qing Sayue's wrist. Qing Sayue's wrist did not have any warmth or pulse. How is this possible? After a pause, he angrily said, "You two bastards! Get the hell in here!" Lu Xing angrily roared. The two security guards walked in and nervously looked at Lu Xing. They still did not know what had happened. Lu Xing still wanted to teach them a lesson, but Charlotte stopped him. Xia Lei said, "Have the two of you been guarding outside the door from the beginning?" The two security guards nodded their heads. One of them nervously said, "Director Xia, we have been guarding the door from the beginning. We did not leave even a step. What happened?" Charlotte continued to ask, "Has anyone been here during this time?" The two security guards looked at each other and then shook their heads. "You two can leave. Don't tell anyone about this," Charlotte said. The two security guards responded and then left the duty room. Charlotte's heart was heavy. He secretly said in his heart, "How did Qing Kaiyue die? Was she killed or committed suicide?" She was a vain woman who was afraid of pain. Did she have the courage to commit suicide? Qing Sayue's death was filled with suspense. "Director Xia, could this bitch have committed suicide to escape punishment?" Lu Xing said. "What do you think?" Lu Xing shook his head. "I don't think so." Charlotte said, "Look after her body. Don't let anyone touch her. Also, look after her things. Don't let anyone touch them." "Aren't we going to call the police?" Lu Xing asked. Charlotte said, "Don't call the police for now. Just do as I say." After saying this, he left the duty room and walked towards the material laboratory. All the signs pointed to Qing Kaiyue being the spy. Her death could be understood as a suicide to escape punishment. The case seemed to be closed, but Charlotte didn't think so. This was too normal and too simple. The spy had been lurking around him, lurking in the Rema group, until the new material was born. The U.S. had already established a similar new material project. Would the spy just die like that? Would that spy be a greedy woman like Qing Kaiyue? This matter was not so simple, and the spy was definitely not someone of Qing Sayue's level. Qing Kaiyue was just a chess piece that he had sacrificed. In the chess world, this move was called abandoning the rook to protect the king. The material laboratory was right in front of him. Charlotte walked in. The staff in the material laboratory were still busy. They had no idea what had happened. When Charlotte entered, he asked them to leave the laboratory. The busy scene disappeared, and the material laboratory was quiet. Charlotte walked towards Eugene Lee's office. Charlotte's left eye twitched slightly, and all the obstacles blocking his sight disappeared. Eugene Lee came into his sight. He was still working at his desk. He looked very serious and focused. What happened in the outside world seemed to have nothing to do with him, and he was too lazy to care. Charlotte increased the intensity of his X-ray vision. He checked Eugene Lee's body. Eugene Lee didn't carry any weapons on him. There were no weapons in the drawer of the desk beside him. Not to mention a gun, there wasn't even a paper knife. Everything about Eugene Lee looked so normal. All the accusations against him were slander and slander. However, the corners of Xia Lei's mouth curled up into a cold smile. Acting to the extreme would be pretentious. If something was too perfect, then it would be a flaw in itself. Charlotte reached out and knocked on the door of the office. Eugene Lee didn't even raise his head. He just said, "Come in." Charlotte walked in. Eugene Lee looked up at Charlotte. When he saw that it was Charlotte, he stood up and said respectfully, "Chairman Xia, are you here to look at the proposal? Why did you come in person? You could have called me, and I would have sent it to you." Xia Lei's lips curled into a smile. "When did this happen? When did that happen?" Li Yudun had a confused expression. "Why?" Charlotte asked the second question. Li Yudun's expression became a little nervous. "Chairman Xia, what's wrong with you? Why are you asking me such a strange question?" "Stop pretending," Charlotte said angrily. "It's useless. I know you are the spy." "Ah?" Eugene Lee looked very surprised, but his eyes were flickering. Charlotte sneered. You have been lurking in the Rema Group for a long time. You stole the secrets of the Rema Group for the United States. You instigated Qin Kaiwe to work for you. Not only did you use her, but you also killed her after using her. On the surface, Qin Kaiwe was a female spy who was instigated by the United States. She seduced you, stole the formula and sample of the secret Gold X, and then sent the secrets to the United States. You can deceive others, but you can't deceive me. Chairman Xia, I am not a spy. You joined the Rema Group at the time when the Rema Group needed a material scientist the most. You were recruited to the Rema Group by Qin Kaiwe through a poaching company. In fact, from the beginning, Qin Kaiwe was your prey, right? After you joined the Rema Group, you have been lurking, waiting for an opportunity. Your target was the new material of the Rema Group, right? Eugene Lee calmed down. Charlotte continued. Qin Kaiwe didn't know that she had led a wolf into the house, and she also became the wolf's prey. She was a greedy and vain girl, young and beautiful, but not scheming. You maintained a relationship with her as a secret lover, and she also became your scapegoat. You sent the early research materials of the secret Gold X and the arrangement of the carbon element to the United States, and the United States also established the same new material project. Unfortunately, the early research was a failure, and the new material project in the United States did not succeed. You once again lurked, waiting for a new opportunity. Later, I personally took action, I solved the problem, and the secret Gold X was also born. You couldn't help it, so today's things happened, right? Eugene Lee was still silent, not saying a word. He looked at Charlotte with a complicated expression, but there was no fear. I was thinking that your appearance should also be related to the AE Research Center in the United States, right? A strange light flashed in Eugene Lee's eyes. I obtained a material that doesn't belong to this world, and I also have an evolution that surpasses all human beings. The think tank in the United States must have researched and predicted against me. They studied it and predicted it. That's why you're here, Xia said. After a sigh, Eugene Lee finally spoke. Chairman Xia, I really don't know what you're talking about. I don't know why you think I'm a spy from the United States. I know you, and I know that you usually don't change your mind about things, but I want to tell you that I'm not a spy from the United States. I really like Qin Kaiwe. How could I kill her? Eugene Lee, is that your real name? Charlotte said. Just now when I told you that Qin Kaiwe was dead, you didn't even blink at that time. Now you're telling me that you love her. Are you insulting my intelligence, or are you insulting yourself? Eugene Lee was silent again. Today, if it wasn't your last chance to make a move, you definitely wouldn't have taken such a risk. But you still couldn't help but make a move. When you made this decision, you were actually prepared to sacrifice Qin Kaiwe, right? A bitter smile appeared on the corner of Eugene Lee's mouth. I've said so much, are you not going to admit it? Chairman Xia, I don't know why you misunderstood me. You want me to admit it, but I can't do it. But I know that I can't work here anymore. If you have evidence, you can hand it over to the law enforcement agency. Eugene Lee said. Charlotte suddenly raised his hand, and a Viper pistol appeared in his hand. His eyes were cold. There's no law enforcement agency. As long as I want, I can kill you right now. Eugene Lee still looked very calm. He didn't admit it, but from his performance in the past few minutes, he had actually admitted it in a disguised way. A scientist, an ordinary person, in the face of such severe accusations and a gun, it was impossible for him to be so calm. Although Qin Kaiwe betrayed me, in my opinion, she isn't the one who should die. The one who should die the most is you. Eugene Lee said calmly, then shoot. Charlotte pulled the trigger. Ka. There was a soft sound, but the Viper pistol didn't shoot out a bullet. Eugene Lee didn't even blink. This courage, this calmness in the face of death, even Charlotte couldn't do it. Aren't you afraid of death? Everyone will die one day, and you are no exception. There is no difference between dying now and dying decades from now, Li Yuden said. You should know very well that I didn't make a move against you. I'm still very polite to you now. It's not that I don't want to beat you up. If you want to make a mess of things, I don't mind. You don't have to admit it yourself, and I'm not responsible for investigating you. I just want you to answer a few questions. If you give me the answers, I won't touch you, and you can leave here with dignity. Are you going to let me go? Eugene Li's lips curled into a cold smile. He clearly didn't believe that Charlotte would let him go after he answered Charlotte's questions. No, I'm sending you to where you should be. Then I also have a few questions to ask you. How about this? You ask me a question, I answer you, I ask you a question, you answer me. That's very fair. Charlotte smiled. At this point, you still have the guts to ask for conditions. Do you really think I'm a person who's easy to talk to? You can torture me, but I want to tell you that it's useless. I've received the harshest pain training in the world. The pain I've experienced on the verge of death is something you can't even imagine. And you're not a particularly cruel and inhumane person. I don't think you're willing to do that kind of dirty work. Eugene Li said calmly. Charlotte was silent for a moment. I agree, but I'll ask you first. Please say it. Was it you or Qin Kaiwe who leaked Long Bing's mission in Japan? Charlotte said. Chapter 977. I knew you would ask me this question, Eugene Li said calmly. I can give you the answer. It wasn't me, and it wasn't Qin Kaiwe. Charlotte suddenly frowned. It wasn't you? I know you will doubt me, and that's normal. But what I want to tell you is that I have no enmity with you, and your woman is not my target. Why would I want to complicate things? The FA organization has a plan to attack the headquarters of Rema Group. Wouldn't you, the ace spy of the CIB, provide valuable information for this operation? Eugene Li smiled. You already know the FA organization's plan to hijack a passenger plane to carry out an attack. Rema Group has even prepared anti-aircraft missiles. Does the FA organization's plan have a chance of success? Anyone with a little sense would know that the success rate of this plan is close to zero. Do you think the US government and the CIB would increase the risk of exposing me for a plan that has no chance of success? Charlotte was silent. Eugene Li was telling the truth. The US government and the CIB would not sacrifice an ace spy who had worked so hard to infiltrate the top management of Rema Group for a plan that had no chance of success. The person who leaked Long Bing's mission to Japan was not Eugene Li, but someone else. Who could this person be? For some reason, when thinking about this question, Charlotte suddenly thought of Tang Yuyan and the Tang family behind her. This made him feel very uncomfortable, and he was not willing to believe that this was true. It's my turn to ask. Eugene Li's voice interrupted Charlotte's thoughts. How did you solve the problem of the new material? I'm actually not an expert in this field, but I have the support of a team of the best materials scientists in the United States. What I know is that even the best people can't solve this problem. They say that no one in the world can solve this problem, but you did. How did you do it? Because of this. Charlotte pointed at his head. Eugene Li frowned. The answer was too simple for him. It was different from what he had imagined. How did you kill Qin Kaiwe? Without waiting for Eugene Li to speak, Charlotte asked the second question. I drugged her last night. Once the time is up, she will die. Eugene Li paused for a moment before continuing. My second question is, have you really developed the Rema Group's drone? Charlotte suddenly flew up and kicked Eugene Li. The sudden movement turned him from a human into a cheetah. His speed and strength had already exceeded the limits of a human. Eugene Li didn't expect Charlotte to suddenly attack him. Caught off guard, he hurriedly retreated. At the same time, he raised his arms and used his hardest elbows to block Charlotte's heavy kick. Eugene Lee's action was the most common defensive action in the boxing ring. As an ace agent and assassin of the CIB, he was completely confident that he could block Mike Tyson's heavy punch at his peak. But bang! With a muffled sound, Eugene Lee's body flew off the ground from the huge impact. A second later, his body flew a few meters away and hit a wall behind him. At that moment, he felt as if his elbows were hit by a hammer. The pain was unbearable. His body slammed into the wall, and the shock was as if he had fallen from the second floor. He almost fainted. Without waiting for Eugene Lee's body to fall from the wall, Charlotte took a big stride forward. His right fist was like a heavy cannon that landed on Eugene Lee's chest. Bang! Under Charlotte's heavy punch, the faint sound of ribs cracking could be heard. Eugene Lee didn't scream, but his expression showed that he was in extreme pain. In the blink of an eye, Charlotte's hand chopped down on Eugene Lee's neck. Lee Yu-dun let out a muffled groan and fainted. His body fell to the ground and stopped moving. Answer the question? Charlotte actually only had one question, and that was who leaked Long Bing's mission. Once he got the answer, he could end this spy incident. His second question was just out of curiosity. He could ask, but he could also choose not to ask. From the beginning, he didn't want to seriously answer Eugene Lee's question. Do you think this is a class? Answer the question. Despicable. Charlotte kicked Eugene Lee's lower abdomen. This kick was for Qin Kaiyue, that poor woman. As for why Qin Kaiyue was bought over by Eugene Lee, Charlotte didn't ask Eugene Lee the reason, because it wasn't important. He could guess it himself. Nowadays, some women's minds were full of the American green card and the superior material life. With some sweet words, they would forget about the danger and consequences. Qin Kaiyue was such a woman. Qin Kaiyue's death actually made Xia Lei feel a little guilty. If he had done something with her in France and turned her into his lover, then Lee Yu-dun wouldn't have been able to bribe and instigate her so easily. After subduing Eugene Lee, Charlotte searched Eugene Lee's office. The result was as expected. There were no traces left. He must have a way to contact the CIB. Is it a phone or a computer? Or a liaison? Charlotte pondered this question in his heart. At this point, he could have called Tang Yuyen to hand over Eugene Lee to 101 innings, but he didn't do so because he had a new plan in his heart. When the search was over, Charlotte put Eugene Lee into a large wooden box and then nailed it shut with nails. Then he called Lu Xing. A few minutes later, Lu Xing came over with a few people. Send this box of materials to my house. Well, send it to my study, Charlotte said. Several security guards found a cart and took the box away. Charlotte followed behind. Lu Xing curiously asked, Director Xia, where is Eugene Lee? Charlotte said, he went home. He said he left a very important material at home. He went home to get it. He's really busy. By the way, Lu Xing asked tentatively, is he okay? Charlotte said, I've checked. He's fine. Everything was done by Qin Kaiyue. I treated her well. I don't know what she was thinking. I knew it was her. She's AB****, Lu Xing said angrily. Charlotte just sighed softly. Qin Kaiyue was dead. She had paid the price for her actions. He didn't want to comment on whether she was AB**** or not. Have you packed up Qin Kaiyue's things? Charlotte changed the topic. How can it be so fast? I'll send it to you when I'm done. Or should I send it to your office? Lu Xing asked. Send it to my house, Charlotte said. Then I'll do it now. Lu Xing left alone. Several security guards put the wooden box in Charlotte's study and left. After the security guards left, Charlotte carried the wooden box alone and moved it to an underground secret room in the Peace Mansion. The purpose of this secret chamber was to interrogate the enemy, and Lee Yu-dun was the first guest in this place. Charlotte opened the box and carried Eugene Lee out. Then, he chained his limbs. Then, he splashed a ladle of water on Eugene Lee's face. Eugene Lee woke up. His eyes scanned the surroundings in half a second, including Charlotte. Charlotte moved a chair and sat in front of Eugene Lee. He said lightly, "You'll have to stay here for a while." "You want to imprison me?" Eugene Lee's eyes didn't show any fear. Instead, there was only confusion. "Yes. I'll imprison you here until I want you to leave," Charlotte said. "Don't even think about escaping. This is a prison I designed. If you want to open the lock, you'll have to open all the locks at once. Otherwise, the chains will turn into wires and electrocute you. Of course, you won't die, but you'll be in so much pain that you'll wish you were dead." Why? Eugene Lee thought he would wake up in the 101 innings interrogation room to face formal interrogation and judgment. He didn't expect to be in Charlotte's private prison. "You're so smart. Can you guess?" Charlotte's lips curled into a smile. "You want to use my identity and my channel to pass the information you want to pass to the CIB? Or you want to figure out something, right? You're really smart." "Ha ha ha." Eugene Lee laughed. "Even if you can successfully impersonate me, you won't be able to find my channel. And even if you find it, you won't get the result you want. Your plan may seem strange to me, but it's destined to fail." "Then what do you think I want to do?" Eugene Lee thought for a moment and shook his head. "You're so unpredictable. You don't even know what I want to do. How can you be so sure that my plan is destined to fail? I promise you, you'll see the result." Charlotte got up and walked to the door. Eugene Lee shouted at Charlotte's back. "You should send me to 101 innings. You don't have the right to imprison me." "Right." Xia Lei turned around to look at Li Yudun. "My fists are my rights. Just stay here obediently. If you tie me up like this, how can I solve the problem of going to the toilet? I almost forgot if you didn't mention it." Charlotte walked to the corner and kicked a plastic bucket at Eugene Lee. "You can solve it with this." Eugene Lee was speechless. Charlotte left the underground secret room. Not long after he returned to the study, Lu Xing came in with a big box. "Director Xia, I found these things in Qing Tsayue's office and lounge. Take a look." Lu Xing put the big box on Charlotte's desk. "Thank you, Brother Xing. You can go do your thing. I'll take care of the rest," Charlotte said. "You don't have to be so polite with me. We're all brothers." Lu Xing smiled and left the study. Xia Lei took out the contents of the box and placed them on the desk. There were cosmetics, books, notepads, pens and the like. There was also an Apple laptop. He finished the inspection quickly. Except for the laptop, everything was normal. There was no spy equipment. His eyes fell on the laptop. If there was anything, it could only be in her personal computer. But just as he was about to open Qing Tsayue's laptop, his phone suddenly rang. It was the satellite phone of the Chinese Zodiac battle team. The caller was Long Bing. "I'm back in China. I'll fly to the capital tonight." Long Bing's voice sounded tired, but there was also a hint of joy. "It's good that you're back. I'll cook something to welcome you back." Charlotte's mood suddenly improved. "Okay, then I'm hanging up." She hung up. Charlotte smiled bitterly. She was still so quiet. But when she let go, it was hard for him to resist. Her coldness, her passion, her wildness, everything about her fascinated him. He loved everything about her. Chapter 978. As the night grew darker, Long Bing came back. As soon as she saw Charlotte, she plunged into his arms and buried her head in his shoulder. She didn't cry, nor did she say anything. She just quietly held Charlotte. She didn't even blink when she killed people on the battlefield, but at this time, she was like a little bird. In this world, only a man like Charlotte could support a woman like her, give her support and make her a little woman. The mission in Japan had failed, which meant that her career as an agent in 101 innings had ended with a regrettable failure. After a long time, Charlotte whispered in her ear, "Don't be sad. Who doesn't stumble in this life? Failure is failure. As long as you're fine, it's fine. Long Bing looked up from her shoulder. It's not a big deal that I failed my last mission, but my colleagues, they all fell into the hands of the Japanese. They can't come back. How am I going to explain this to their parents, wives, and children? Charlotte's mood also became heavy. The parents, wives, and children of the agents who went to Japan with Long Bing were looking forward to their sons, their husbands, and their fathers coming home. But this expectation would forever become a lifetime of sorrow. Did you catch the spy? Long Bing's eyes were cold. Charlotte knew what the look meant. Yes. Take me to see him. Frosty, let me finish. Charlotte said, I know what you want to do, but I asked the spy. He is not the person who leaked your whereabout. Long Bing was stunned. How is that possible? Charlotte said, I had the same idea as you at the beginning, but I believed what the spy said. His goal was Rema Group's new materials and drones. He wouldn't leak your mission in Japan. Who is the spy? Eugene Lee. Charlotte said. His previous identity was a materials scientist at Rema Group. I even gave him the responsibility for the research of new materials. Long Bing thought for a moment and said, If it's the person you're talking about, I'll believe what he said because my mission to Japan is top secret. It's impossible for him to know. Frosty, I suspect. Who do you suspect? He's from the Tang family, Charlotte said. Long Bing was stunned for a moment. She seemed to want to say something, but nothing came out of her slightly open mouth. She and Tang Yuyan were like sisters. She and Tang Yuyan risked their lives on the battlefield, and they could take bullets for each other. But if what Charlotte said was true, then Tang Yuyan couldn't get away with it. Even if she didn't leak it herself, she was at least an insider. Charlotte said, Frosty, do you want me to help you investigate? No, don't, said Long Bing. Why? Don't you want an explanation? Long Bing shook her head and said, If the Tang family leaked the secret, I don't want to investigate. Charlotte sighed and said, I'll listen to you. If you want to investigate, I'll investigate. If you don't want to investigate, I won't. There were some truths that were worse to know than not to know. Time to eat. Fanfan's voice came from behind Charlotte. Can you be intimate later? Charlotte said, Let's go eat. Fanfan and Xiao have to be ready soon. Long Bing said, Didn't you say you were going to cook for me? How come it's Sister Fanfan and Xiao who are cooking? Well, Charlotte said, Didn't I come to pick you up at the door? Long Bing just smiled and didn't say anything. When a man wooed a woman, he would be very diligent, attentive, and considerate. He was a combination of tens of thousands of good qualities. Not to mention cooking a home-cooked meal, even if someone asked him to cook a Manchu Han imperial feast, he would be able to do it. However, once he succeeded in wooing a woman and got her pregnant, men would usually become lazy. This was a common problem for men, and a man like Charlotte was no exception. But even so, her love and affection for him did not diminish. When the three women met, they were more affectionate than sisters meeting. It's good that you're back. You don't know how worried Xiao and I were about you. Fanfan hugged Long Bing. Don't think too much. The safety of mother and child is the most important thing. Liang Xiao also hugged Long Bing. The three pregnant women chatted intimately, and Xia Lei was left to the side. Rui will move here in 2 days. She has already submitted her resignation letter. When she comes, our family of 5 will be reunited, and it will be lively. Charlotte found a topic and wanted to join in the women's conversation. In fact, Liang Xiao and Fanfan knew about this matter. Only Long Bing did not know. Liang Xiao rolled her eyes at Charlotte. You must like it in your heart. You have 4 wives and you can kiss this one and that one. Your life is happier than that of an immortal. You're such a pervert. The first part was pleasant to hear, but the last pervert made Charlotte embarrassed. Fanfan said with a smile, Honey, are you already thinking about something bad in your heart? Charlotte shrugged. No, I'm just thinking if I should go to the furniture city to customize a big bed for the four of you to sleep together. Liang Xiao and Fan Fan almost spat at the same time, and their cheeks were flushed. Even Long Bing, who spoke the least, was embarrassed. She also glared at Charlotte. You? I'm afraid the bed you want to customize can't only be for the four of us to sleep together, right? There is also a place for you, right? Of course, there must be a place for him. Otherwise, why would he customize such a big bed? I also want to buy you a mahjong table. In the future, when you are taking care of the baby, you can play mahjong at home. You can just make up a table. Charlotte said with a smile. Go to hell, do you want your son and daughter to become gamblers in the future? Liang Xiao laughed and scolded, but it was undeniable that a picture emerged in her mind. The four pregnant women played mahjong at a mahjong table, and Charlotte was busy serving tea and pouring water. After dinner, the three women cleaned up the dishes and whispered in the kitchen. Charlotte stood by the kitchen door and listened secretly. Later, let him sleep alone. We won't sleep with him. Liang Xiao said. You said the same thing last time, but in the end we still slept together. Fan Fan said with a smile, accept your fate. Our family is destined to be lively even when we sleep. He is eavesdropping by the door. Do you have to talk about this? Long Bing looked back at the door. Although she couldn't see Charlotte, she knew that Charlotte was hiding by the door. Moreover, the light cast his shadow on the kitchen floor. Hubby, you really have no shame. As a man, why are you eavesdropping on us women talking? Fan Fan said. Yes, don't you have any shame? Liang Xiao said. Only then did Charlotte show himself. He said with a smile, if I had any shame, why would your bellies become so big? Everyone snorted. I think I should talk to you about something serious. Xia Lei changed the subject. The spy is in Peace Lodge. Ah! The three women all had a surprised expression on their faces. Eugene Li. Charlotte said, I locked him in an underground secret room. That secret room is actually a dungeon. It hasn't been used, but it will come in handy this time. Hubby, why didn't you hand him over? Liang Xiao asked confusedly. Long Bing also said, yes, if someone finds out that you imprisoned him like this, you will be in trouble. Why don't we kill him? That way there won't be any trouble. Such a big matter should be reported. If you don't report it, you will bring trouble upon yourself. Fan Fan said. Different women with big bellies had different ways of thinking. Charlotte said, I said it because I want to discuss it with you. I have a plan in mind. If this matter is announced, my plan can't be carried out. What plan do you have? Liang Xiao and Long Bing asked almost at the same time. Charlotte walked into the kitchen and hugged the three women. He whispered something in their ears. In this case, it's not a big deal for you to imprison Eugene Li, but how can you hide this matter? Liang Xiao said worriedly. Long Bing also said, if Tang Yuyan knows, she will definitely take Eugene Li away. She is the director of 101 innings. She has enough authority to do so, and you can't stop her. Charlotte had actually considered these problems, but he didn't find a solution to the problem. He really didn't have the right to do such a thing. Not only that, it could even be said to be illegal. If Tang Yuyan wanted to pursue it, he would definitely be in trouble. Charlotte looked at Fan Fan and said, Honey, do you have any ideas? Fan Fan thought for a moment and said, Well, I'll go and talk to the higher-ups. I'll tell them your plan. Your plan is very creative. If it succeeds, we can lead the other party to the wrong path. I think the higher-ups may be tempted and agree. As long as there are instructions from the higher-ups, you can do whatever you want. Charlotte smiled and said, Then let's do it this way. Do you want to see him? The three women looked at each other and seemed to have reached a consensus after a glance. Liang Xiao said, I know that Eugene Li. There's nothing to see. I don't want to go. I don't want to go either. Fan Fan said. I don't want to see him either. Long Bing actually wanted to go, but since Liang Xiao and Fan Fan didn't want to go, she changed her mind. Charlotte smiled and said, "If you don't want to go, then don't go. Let's go back to the house." "I won't go either," Liang Xiao said with a smile. "I won't go either," Long Bing said. "I won't go either," Fan Fan said. Charlotte said slowly, "I just figured out a new massage technique and wanted you guys to try it. Since you guys don't want to, then forget it. Oh, by the way, my massage technique is very helpful for fetuses. It can make them grow taller in the future." "It's that magical?" Fan Fan looked doubtful. Charlotte pointed at his own head. "Don't forget, their father is not an ordinary human. I can create so many advanced things, but I can't even research a massage technique? Forget it, I'm going back to the house to sleep. I still have to enter the stock market to earn some milk powder money." Fan Fan and Liang Xiao grabbed his arm, while Long Bing grabbed Charlotte's collar. "Since you want it, then let's go. There are 3 of us. Do you think we'll be afraid of you?" Long Bing said, and then pulled Charlotte away like a cow. Liang Xiao and Fan Fan exerted their strength from the left and right. The 3 women were like a heart-shaped lock, locking Charlotte tightly, making it impossible for him to escape. Entering the room, the 3 women lay down on the bed. "Come and have a massage. I want to see your new technique," Fan Fan said. "If you don't feel well, we'll beat you," Liang Xiao said. "Focus on massaging my waist. These days my waist is a bit sore," Long Bing said. Charlotte began to take off his clothes. "Why are you taking off your clothes? You liar! Don't come over." Chapter 979. Early the next morning, Tang Yuyan arrived at the entrance of Rema Group's headquarters. She was followed by a large group of agents from 101 innings. She and Charlotte had agreed to meet in 2 days, and today was the deadline. "Seal off this place. No one is allowed to leave. The surveillance system here will also be taken over. Everyone must be investigated. No one can be left out." Tang Yuyan gave the order as soon as she arrived. A large group of agents from 101 innings took action. A few agents took over the gate in the blink of an eye. The security guards at the gate did not dare to confront these agents. Just as Tang Yuyan's people were taking over the gate, a security guard with a special identity picked up the phone. This security guard was Erdemo from the Zodiac team. "What are you doing? Put the phone down," an agent scolded. Erdemo frowned. "What do you want?" "If you want to take over this place, I have to call our chairman Xia." "Put it down," the agent said sternly. "Otherwise, I won't be polite to you." Erdemo put down the phone, got up and walked to the door. "Stay here. Don't walk around." The agent was still very fierce. Erdemo acted as if he did not hear him and walked to the door. The agent reached out and grabbed Erdemo's shoulder. Erdemo shook his shoulder and easily got rid of the agent's grasp. In terms of hands, no one here was a match for him except for Tang Yuyan. However, when the agent reached out to grab his shoulder for the second time, he gave up resisting and let the agent grab his shoulder. Although he was very angry, he was also very clear that he could not let the people from 101 innings fall here. If he did that, it would be a small matter if he got into trouble, but it would be a big matter if he caused trouble for Charlotte. "You're pretty good, kid. Behave yourself." After the agent grabbed Erdemo's shoulder, he pushed Erdemo hard. Erdemo staggered and almost fell to the ground. Erdemutu did not resist. He returned to the chair that belonged to him. He watched through the window as Tang Yuyan gave one order after another to her subordinates. There was not a trace of expression on his face. After making arrangements for everyone, Tang Yuyan walked towards the office building. At this time, a Hongqi sedan drove towards the entrance. Seeing that car, Tang Yuyan frowned. The car had an ordinary license plate, which was no different from the cars used by ordinary people. But she knew that the woman sitting in the car was not simple. Tang Yuyan had already recognized the identity of the woman sitting in the car, but her subordinates didn't. An agent walked towards the Hongqi car. Go back. No one is allowed to go out now. The car window rolled down and Fan Fan poked her head out. Move aside. The agent was momentarily stunned. Did you hear me? Fan Fan looked very fierce. Who are you? How dare you speak so arrogantly? The agent walked over with a gloomy face. Fan Fan saw Tang Yuyan standing by the side of the road. She said to Tang Yuyan, what are you doing? I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. After saying that, Tang Yuyan made a gesture. This person can leave now. The agent who was blocking the road to check retreated. However, Fan Fan didn't leave. She got out of the car and walked straight to Tang Yuyan's side. I don't care what you're doing here. I'll give you 1 minute to get your people to leave Rema Group immediately. 1 minute, not one more second. Tang Yuyan was so angry that she laughed. You stole my man, and now you're interfering with my work. Who do you think you are? A queen? The corner of Fan Fan's mouth curled into a cold smile. I'm stealing your man? Is Charlotte your husband or your boyfriend? None of them? Then why did you say that I stole your man? Even Shintu Tianyin doesn't have the right to say such things to me, let alone you. Forget it. I don't want to quarrel with you. You do your thing and I'll do mine. Don't interfere with my work. Tang Yuyan had always been afraid of Fan Fan. You're destroying the stability of Rema Group. Fan Fan said coldly. I said that I'll only give you 1 minute to get your people to stop their sabotage. 1 more second and I'll call the higher-ups immediately. Don't forget that I'm Charlotte's fiancé. Our wedding will be held soon. I'm the mistress of this place. I won't allow you to come here and make trouble. In 1 sentence, 2 sabotages. Tang Yuyan couldn't bear such a black pot. You know why I'm here. Tang Yuyan's emotions were a little out of control. I know. You're here because of the spy incident, but I want to tell you that my husband has solved it. You can go and see him, but you can only be alone. Well, 1 minute is up. Fan Fan looked at her watch and took out her phone. Tang Yuyan bit her lips and picked up the walkie-talkie. Everyone, get out. Stay in the car. Isn't that enough? I have something to do. I'll leave first. Fan Fan turned around and left. She got into the car and drove away. Watching Fan Fan's Hongqi car drive out of the gate, Tang Yuyan had a sudden impulse. She wanted to fire a rocket at the back of the Hongqi car. The people in innings 101 left, and Tang Yuyan also came to the door of Charlotte's office. Xiao, your belly seems to be a little bigger. It was Long Bing's voice. Really? Oh, no wonder I feel that I've been gaining weight recently. It turns out that the little guy has grown up again. It was Liang Xiao's voice. It's a pity that my belly hasn't changed much. It was Long Bing's voice. It was Liang Xiao's voice. How long have you been pregnant? Don't worry, it will definitely get bigger. When that time comes, my waist and legs will be sore after just a few steps. It's okay. Can't I just give you a massage? It was Charlotte's voice. Go to hell. You're definitely up to no good by giving me a massage. It was Long Bing's voice. That's right. You said you would give us a massage last night, but in the end, you did it to us. We won't fall for your trick again. Liang Xiao's voice was coquettish and languid, with a hint of seduction, sexiness, and teasing. Tang Yuyan couldn't listen to it anymore. She reached out and knocked on the door twice. She used a lot of force and knocked on the door. Who's knocking so loudly? It was Liang Xiao's voice. I'll go open the door. It was Charlotte's voice. Hearing the footsteps behind the door, Tang Yuyan felt inexplicably nervous. Memories of the past flashed before her eyes. She felt as if her heart had been pricked by a needle. The door opened and Charlotte appeared at the door. Tang Yuyan looked at him. She couldn't say a word of what she had originally thought of. Oh, it's Yuyan. Come in, Charlotte said. Tang Yuyan walked in. Yuyan. Long Bing greeted Tang Yuyan. Ah Bing, Tang Yuyan replied, but she avoided Long Bing's gaze. Liang Xiao didn't greet Tang Yuyan. She just looked at her, and there was not the slightest bit of kindness in her eyes. They were already sleeping on the same bed. How could she not know that Long Bing's trip to Japan might have been leaked by the Tang family? In the past, she and Tang Yuyan had a little friendship, but now it was gone. Have a seat. Charlotte invited Tang Yuyan to take a seat. I'll make you a cup of tea. What kind of tea would you like to drink? Tang Yuyan didn't sit down. She said, No, I'm not here to drink tea and chat. I don't want to be a third wheel and get in the way of your business. Let's get down to business. You know why I'm here. Charlotte nodded. Well, I'll make it short. The spy has been caught. It's my secretary, Qin Kaiwe. She has committed suicide. The body is in the security guard's lounge. I can take you to see it now. In addition, her belongings have been sorted out. You can take them away. Tang Yuyan was silent for a moment before she said, Is it your secretary? Charlotte said, Yes, it's her. Tang Yuyan said, I've seen your secretary more than once. I know what she's capable of. How could she be the spy? You must have missed someone. I didn't miss anyone. It's her, Charlotte said. I'll check again, Tang Yuyan said. Tang Yuyan, do you think you can check it just because you want to? This is Rema Group. It's not an ordinary company. It's related to the strategic interests of the country. Liang Xiao said, If you want to fight for political capital, I advise you to go to another place. What did you say? Tang Yuyan suddenly became angry. I think you heard it very clearly. I don't need to say it again, right? Liang Xiao didn't buy it at all. Xiao, don't say it. Charlotte said. Only then did Liang Xiao shut her mouth. Charlotte said again, Yu Yen, take Qing Xiaoyue's body and her belongings back. Rema Group can't investigate it just because they want to. Tang Yuyan looked at Charlotte suspiciously. What are you trying to do? Charlotte smiled. If there's really a spy, I'm more anxious than you. What can I do? Believe me, this matter is over. Ring ring ring, ring ring ring, Tang Yuyan's cell phone rang. She picked up the phone. Hello, Godfather. What? This? Well, the investigation is over. This phone call was from Sherborne. When Tang Yuyan received this phone call, Charlotte secretly breathed a sigh of relief. This was because he knew that Fan Fan had already persuaded the higher-ups. This matter would be carried out according to his plan, not Tang Yuyan and 101 innings. Sherborne had personally called, which showed how much support the higher-ups had given him in this matter. He could go ahead and do it. After ending the phone call, Tang Yuyan said, I'll take the body and the belongings away. This spy incident is over. But I have to advise you not to play with fire. The help you get now may become a hindrance in the future. Thank you. Charlotte walked to the desk, took out a wedding invitation from the drawer, and then handed it to Tang Yuyan. I'll be married to Fan Fan on the 4th day of the first lunar month. If you have time, Tang Yuyan looked at Charlotte quietly. Do you still think you haven't hurt me enough? Charlotte smiled bitterly. Yu Yen, I'm sincerely inviting you. If you don't want to come, then forget it. Tang Yuyan grabbed the wedding invitation from Charlotte's hand. I'll come. I'd like to see what the 3 bridesmaids' expressions will be like when you and Fan Fan hold your wedding. The 3 bridesmaids she mentioned were obviously Liang Xiao, Long Bing, and Jiang Rui. Liang Xiao rolled her eyes at Tang Yuyan. Long Bing had been very calm, as if she hadn't heard this sarcastic remark. Tang Yuyan turned to leave. Charlotte didn't ask her to stay. In life, some people and things should be let go when it's time. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Nights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.